Check, 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 check. Microphone check. Anybody in the house? Oh, let me turn that off. All right. We're live, my guy. Haven't been live in a minute. We're just waiting for our guest to show up. Let me send out the link. Mr. Pelu in the house. What's up? Um, just drop a thumbs up. Let me know if you could hear me okay. How do I sound? Does my mic sound okay? Um, all that good stuff. I'll just share out the stream real quick. See what's good with my guest as we wait for some people to come through. Damn, I haven't been live in so long. uh, this is wild. So what's good? How's everyone been? Everything good? We've been good over here, man. Everything is great. Been on Clubhouse, talking a bunch of stuff to people. Big up, man. Thanks for that confirmation, Mr. Pelu. All right, we got Sam in the house.
Hello. How are you?
Hi. Good. How are you? What's going on?
I'm fine.
Good, good. So, yes. Today we are interviewing an Islamaphobe, certified.
Is this supposed to be me in the spotlight?
Well, you're the guest of the day, so you have that honor.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, no, we're just here to have a conversation, see what's up. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, Mr. Palo is here.
So, my
You
guest of
remember him?
honor,
Yes.
yeah, Mr. Fail is my homie, man. I can't. That's the homie. I can't deny Mr. P, man. He's a
I
good
remember.
guy.
I remember talking to him though. Doesn't he want Sharia?
Yeah, I mean, they all do, but I guess it's like, I don't know. What are you gonna do? Um, I guess ideally they would all kind of want it, right? But I think a lot of people know that it would probably never happen. Shout out Shivite and Namaskar's family all day. Um, yeah, so I mean, I don't know. It's to what extent and what are they willing to sacrifice for it? We have Mr. Nair in the house. Shout out to Bada Nair. Yeah, so what are they willing to really give up for that, like to really have that implemented? You know what I'm saying? And I think like when it comes down to the line, a lot of people wouldn't really be willing to sacrifice their freedoms as much as they kind of say or idolize the idea. What do you think?
Uh, well, I'm supposed to be PC on your channel, so I'm
Well,
gonna tone it down a bit.
yeah, just a little. Don't get me banned. Don't get me
Yeah,
banned. That's all I ask.
yeah, that's fine. Can I curse or can I not curse? Is the question.
Oh yeah, you could swear, but
It's like,
like
is it
I said,
PG
like
13?
No. I mean, like, it's just far as like content that will get me banned, like,
Right. I will
blatantly,
not sing my songs. Yeah,
yeah, or
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Muhammad is this or blah blah blah. Like, we'll just because they do report shit for that, so we'll just try to keep it like on a critical
Just post
level.
the link. Just post the link about their own trusted sources, and they can read them for themselves. I got it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
shout out Sunny S, man. Big up, family. Good to see you.
Well, here's the thing. I just want to say that I am supposed to start my own channel, and I have no idea how to do it. I want to go get out of Clubhouse and start my own YouTube stream. So I will probably soon try to get discussions about Islam and Sharia and this and the Muslim states around the world. I call it the Islamic belt, right? Um, I don't know how to put it because there's the few good rooms I ever done on Clubhouse that I really appreciate was the ones when I talked about Algeria, Morocco, Somalia, Qatar, and Libya. And they didn't get that much crowd. And I think it's a shame. A lot of people talk about Islam, uh, but there's more to be said. And I don't see a lot of people actually going in depth into actually talking about the states that that have their legal system based on Sharia in one way or another, uh, which a lot of people don't understand. So when you ask me, to what extent do they want Sharia? Um, it seems to me that the the forefront, the highest uh, people, the scholars or the people up top in Islam, right? They want to change the law so it's gonna be favorable to at least have a enclave of Sharia-based households uh, in the Muslim community in the West. And I see a lot of Muslims on the ground actually supporting this idea. So this is what I believe is when it comes to the extent of what they want to change. And of course, uh, in Israel, right? I think it's already implemented in a way where Muslims are free to have their enclaves as long as they're loyal to the state of Israel. Uh, in the West, though, how how the West is really constructed, it's not allowed because that means that essentially you're breaking laws of free education, freedom of speech, freedom of thought, freedom of religion. You're breaking those foundations when you abide to Sharia in one way or another. So I think that's the extent that we're talking about.
Mm. Well, it is a complete like subversion of democracy. Like you'd have to override the democratic law. You'd have to like override um, nation status and everything like that to kind of implement this thing, which I just don't really see happening. I mean, in America anyway, Europe is kind of really flip flopping back and forth. And I think some countries have taken a good stance to kind of protect their democracies. Other ones, I don't really feel like they know how exactly to handle it. Like if you look at the UK, for example, I mean, we see nightmare videos coming out of there on the daily, with what these mass amounts of Muslims are trying to do. And when they start like inserting themselves into MP positions and positions of authority, then I think it's really kind of a problem. So, what do you think that like in Western countries? Um, Muslims should be allowed to join Congress and Parliament and things like that.
Am I allowed to say? Am
Of
I
course,
allowed
of
to
course,
say
yeah. Speak
no?
of I don't uh, so I don't necessarily think they should either if they want to subvert democracy, right? And that may be like very controversial, but if you don't hold the values of the country that you live in, I don't think then you should have any place in their politics, right? You swear an oath, right? And if we take like Ilhan Omar, she's like the one example of that.
I was just about to take her as a a case
Yeah,
example.
yeah. So let's talk about it. So for her to be in American Congress is a joke. I think is an actual joke. First of all, she wasn't born here. She has no loyalty to this country. Second of all, she swore her oath on a book that wants to ultimately bring us to our demise. And how Americans allow that to happen is kind of beyond me, honestly.
Well, you see, the thing with what is beautiful with the Western uh, with the Western democracy as we know it, the secular constitution, is that anybody who joins a party, right, and swears an oath to that party will essentially bring forward those ideas for that party and have to uphold to those ideas. And Ilan Omar did not. She tried, but it went so far. And it's funny that Mohammed Hijab actually takfired her as well, because she said that it's okay to be gay and Muslim at the same time. And Mohammed Hijab was like,
Mm.
"Astaghfirullah, this is shirk."
Well, I mean,
Essentially,
and,
what
and
that's what he
that's
said. Right?
right. So that's the conflict, right? And that conflict, I don't think we shouldn't be having this conflict in our government. So her conflict is like, how much of Islam does she sell out to get that democratic vote, and how much democracy does she sell out to keep her Muslim constituents?
Well, what she does is essentially, play the race game in America right now, which I honestly I think this is an American problem, and I'm not in America, so I I wouldn't say much about it. However, I think the problem with I said this many times with Islam is that the uh, people who try to sell the idea that Islam is a culture in the West just as equal to anything else rides on rides on the wave of basically uh, other people's fights, right? We've seen this in the Women's March, with Linda Sarsour and various other very bad actors.
That
Just
was a joke,
yeah,
actual joke.
yeah. So what they do is essentially say that Islam is oppressed, Islamophobia, and Ilhan Omar, sold it so hard, and even Joe Biden is on board right now with that. So anybody who opposes any criticisms towards Islam is deemed an Islamophobe and should be silenced. And this is the first step of what will bring forth a base form of a Sharia enclave where you will not be able to pose any criticism towards this religion. Now, when it comes to Christianity, atheists in America love to debate Christianity. Sure, they debate Islam too, but they don't have much interest in Islam. They will essentially go and say, well, we believe Islam is stupid, and if a Muslim want to debate us, then go ahead and we could talk about it. But it's not in depth understanding that much as they have with Christianity, right? Because it's something from it's
It's
from the
foreign
outside.
still, right? It's very foreign still.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And so because of that, they deemed it still to be racist, right? I'm convinced
Mm.
that if Islam, I hope it is going to become a white man's religion. I hope like people like Andrew Tate
Oh
and
God.
and Sneeko and all the right wingers just adopt Islam, because it would be so beautiful to finally see what kind of people this religion attracts. Um, yeah, we
Well,
had Kalila, we had Kalilullah, right? And
yeah.
yeah, we all saw what he was. So uh, it's kind of like Islam is exposing itself day by day right now.
Yeah, I mean, it does. It is interesting to try to see like what kind of the Andrew Tate thing. I mean, I know we have Banksy in my chat who's like a huge Andrew Tate fan.
Really?
He loves the guy. Yeah, he's like a manosphere type of flag waver and whatever, and that's cool, right? Look at yeah, he's taking. He said he's going to take his shahada again from because of Andrew Tate. But I mean, so like, look at the type of people that it attracts, right? I hear people in like on Clubhouse and like the real like kind of far right, like the Nazi rooms, like they have respect for it. Um, and it does kind of like appeal to a certain type of person. But again, like you see pictures of Andrew Tate after, his release, like drinking with a bunch of women and blah, blah, blah. And then he says things like he believes that all religions lead to the same thing. So it's like, is he really like uh, I don't know, not is he really a Muslim, but like, does he really want to give up those freedoms? Does he really want to have all of his women covered? Or does he like them in the little bikinis that they wear? You know? So it's like, uh,
Well,
again, it's so much hypocrisy. Like they ride the train because it looks good and it gives you a feel of like authority and manhood and whatever. But when it comes to giving up your freedoms and your those liberal values that people die getting to the West to like to experience, I really don't think they're willing to give a lot of that shit up.
yeah. Well, didn't his brother say something on the line that he like they gave them a lot of benefits to accept Islam, and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, they give gifts, money. Especially like if you're white, they love the white. They love to parade the white converts. Oh, look at we got one. We snagged us another cracker. You know what I'm saying? Like they love parading the whiteys around the converts. All of these white reverts, they get like publicity, they get showered with gifts, they get money, they get the red freaking carpet treatment, right? So now it's like with somebody like Andrew Tate, where now he's still kind of
hello.
living
Oh,
his top G pimp dog kind of lifestyle. Can you hear me?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hello?
Yes, I can
Oh,
hear
okay.
you.
you know you really wonder, it's like, should we have rolled out the red carpet for this guy, or like how is he really making us look, you know shout out to the Carter in the chat, man. Big up Victor all day.
Yeah, they're talking about the protest in France. Let's go. Let's go there after we done. We deal with Andrew Tate, because I like all of these dais say that, well, he at least is on the right path as long as he accepted Islam. It's okay, right? That means that he can do whatever he wants, and I honestly think that yeah, he likes the power Islam sells. You can beat your women, right? I mean, he likes that. Subjugate women, he likes that. Tell them what to do, he likes that. Uh, Make money. Yeah, Islam. The thing is, like, Islam is not really against making money, which is they
Mhm.
always talk about that true Sharia, true Islam will have no interest. But the thing is, well, if you take it technically, if you look at it technically, he's taking money from uh from the infidels, right? He's taking money from the people people in Romania who uh who watch these shows and pay these girls money.
Mhm.
So yeah, those people will not technically be considered as there's something wrong in taking their money. So um yeah,
Mhm.
I think he's not all Muslim yet, right? But I don't really see how he's never said anything negative about Islam, right? He's very
Mhm.
much like Islam is strong, we will prevail, blah blah blah. Oh, you will dare
Mhm.
to say anything bad about Islam, see what happens. And of course, everybody was like, "All right, Andrew Tate, here we go." Just mocked him with just destroying the Quran and sending him pictures with desecrating the Quran, and everybody was like, "Oh, you gotta take that statement back because you just cause harm to Islam now." So yeah, I
Right.
don't know. Like people say that most reverts leave Islam after a few years, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
But yeah,
Or when they
Andrew
get out
Tate,
of jail.
yeah, but I think Andrew Tate is gonna be in jail for a long time, and he's gonna be radicalized.
He needs that protection in prison, right? Like
Yeah.
just a gang. Like you could join the Bloods, you could join the Crips, or you could join the Muslims. They need that protection. Um, but yeah, it's just so this comment here is actually hilarious. Islam is the solution to feminism in the West. Uh, do
Yeah,
you think we?
because
Do you think it
yeah,
needs a solution?
I mean, this is a common tactic, right? So uh, the da'is or the people who try to sell Islam, they will always say, well, uh, they will either say the Bible is corrupted, right, or the Torah is corrupted, and if they talk to an atheist or the secular society, then they'll say, well, look at the fornication going around in your countries. Look at these feminists, they just cucking everybody, right? So Islam is the solution because the solution to uh, blue-haired feminists who going around screaming and shouting is, of
Mhm.
course, to put a burqa on every woman out there and beating them to death if they don't go with that ruling. So if they don't comply to the man, then yeah, treat them horribly. It's like just because one thing is bad doesn't mean that Islam is true or Islam is the solution. And Islam
Mhm.
has a lot of their own problems, and if anything, feminism is needed in the Islamic world. And in fact,
Mm.
the feminists in the West have let down the women in the Islamic world multiple times. They have no idea what's going on. I think honestly they don't even want to know because the rot is so deep they don't
Mhm.
even know where to stop.
Well, especially with the left, right? Like the left, the situation in Iran. Now, Banksy is from Iran, which is
He's
kind
from
of,
Iran and
yeah.
wait. He's
So
from Iran and he believes that the regime is a good regime.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll throw out the link. See if people want to jump on. If do you want to do that now or do you want to wait?
Mm, yeah, we can talk. Just as long as it's not gonna be like on Clubhouse where every troll comes up and.
No, nobody in my chat is trolls right now. I pretty much know every single person in the chat,
Uh,
minus Babs, but I think that's one of Dave's friends. So, all right, yeah, I'll put the chat out. Yeah, it would be interesting because I actually the women in Iran are, I think, in desperate need of a little feminism at least.
yeah.
Where people are being literally murdered, um, to because they don't have their headscarf on the proper way. Um, that I don't think I don't think that shouldn't be happening. Obviously, right? And all the murders that have happened after Masa Amini as well, like other women were being murdered, other women, being beaten to death, people being hung from publicly from cranes and shit like that. Like, is that what we really? That's the the solution for feminism? Is that what we're gonna do? Shout out to Ultra Funky. So it's like, what is the solution? Like, yes, I agree that we probably should have a little more conservatism. People should be a little more conservative. Women should be a little more conservative. But it's these same guys who are saying, "Oh, it's the problem to feminism," who want to do things like, say it's okay to have girls like on cam making money for them. So it's like, which one is it? Do you want a bunch of girls naked on camera who are giving you money? Because that's feminism. Or do you not want that? So it's kind of hypocritical a couple ways. But yeah, I put the link out if anybody wants to jump on. This is just kind of an informal discussion. Oh, let me pin that. See if it pinned. Pin message. There you go.
How do you promote my channel, by the way? And by the way, nothing is on my channel right at the moment.
Um, Drop a comment in the back chat, like, see to the right where it says like live comments, and then I don't know, mine says starred, but yours might say something different. Just click the starred tab, and then I think, I don't know. Or no, where's the chat? Oh, private chat. There we go. Yeah, where you said hello. Drop it there and I'll copy it and I'll paste it and put it in the YouTube chat. Or you could just put it in the YouTube chat.
Yeah, but um, hmm, doesn't seem to.
Yeah, over on the right it says comments, banners, brand, private chat. If we just hit that private chat tab, um, and drop it in there, and then I'll copy it and post it.
So YouTube channel and then the link to the channel.
Yeah, if you just go to your YouTube and then do share, and then copy the link to the channel.
Yeah, I'm a newbie. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was reading it. Chat said, Victor said, "Thanks, you would troll yourself if you had a twin." uh, so what the
Oh,
hell is
there we go.
Yeah, you got it. All right,
Yeah,
cool.
there we go. Yeah, sorry about that. All right, let's keep moving on with the discussion.
All right, copy link address chat. So you guys, there's Sam's channel. Go give him a follow. He's going to be doing live streams and putting out content um, soon.
I'm migrating from Clubhouse.
Yeah, Clubhouse is kind of dying. It
Yeah.
was fun while it lasted. I think it was a good kind of, well, we all came from here first, and then we went over there, but it's kind of getting boring now.
It's the
The
same
same kind of
people all the time.
same people every day. So I think it's to reach new audiences and have different discussions about things, you know. It'd be cool.
So there's massive movements and protests in France.
Yeah, what's going on with that? I haven't heard too much about that.
So it's not directly linked to Islam, but there was an Algerian uh, descendant from Morocco, I guess, who got shot to death by the cops
Mm-hmm.
at a routine stop, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was speeding, and then yeah, something happened, and then he got shot dead. So yeah, there's like 3 days of massive riots going on right now, and yeah, it's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Macron hold an emergency conference, and there's like last time I checked, I think it was one day 800 people arrested, and the next day 600 people arrested, or something like that. Yeah, there's just
Oh,
crazy
wow.
arrests. Yeah, like 40,000 state troopers deployed. Yeah, so
Wow.
there's yeah,
Third night
it's
of
crazy.
unrest rocks major French cities. 100 arrested, more than 200 police injured. Macron convenes another cabinet crisis meeting. President leaves Brussels summit early. Okay. Restore order after rioters torch buildings and cars in a third night of rage sparked by police shooting of a teenager. Caught at a his death caught oh he was young. He was a 17-year-old guy who was Algerian and Moroccan, was shot dead on Tuesday. His death caught on video at a traffic stop has ignited long-standing resentment among poor, racially mixed urban communities over incidents of police violence and allegations of systematic racism. Oh God, it's like George Floyd all over again. Ugh.
Yeah, but this time I don't think this is. Uh, I'm not so sure that this is the same thing, right? Maybe it would be, but I don't know. It seems like the people who are protesting are, the or rioting. It's not protest; it's a riot, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's people from uh, Islamic origins, and they say, well, this is Islamophobia. It's my suspicion that this is linked to not race, but more of
Mm-hmm.
more religious affiliations.
It seems like people just want any kind of reason to burn shit down, you know? Um,
Well, last year when at the World Cup, there was a lots of riots for no reason whatsoever, where the Moroccans rioted, right? They won,
mhm,
they rioted. They lost, they rioted.
mhm,
So yeah, uh, they rioted all over France, in Belgium. Uh, yeah, uh, just 2 or 3 days nonstop, and there was really no essential spark that led to that. It was just all about the World Cup, and yeah, they went around and shouting Allahu Akbar. I wouldn't be surprised that these videos about the riots, we would see people shouting Allahu Akbar as well. Um,
mhm.
although I haven't seen the videos yet, so I'm sure it's gonna be more and more uncovered as we speak. But the, yeah, and also there was another riot in France during December. The Kurds were rioting, but that was because of political reasons. where because there was an assassination on a Kurd, and the Kurds suspected it had ties to the Turkish government. So essentially, they said that France were in cahoots with the Turks, and they didn't do enough to crack down, anti-Kurdish, anti-Kurdish, what you call it, uh, anti just resentment against the Kurds.
Like
It,
anti-Kurdish bigotry or sentiment or
yeah,
something.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they started rioting, and yeah, it was just crazy as well. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, France, and and you know what, like before George Floyd, France had this justice for what's his name? It was a black guy as well, where the police they put a baton stick up a guy's ass.
Oh,
Yeah, 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 yeah. They
in
raped him.
France?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There was
Oh.
massive riot. It was years back now.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, it
That's
was massive
terrible.
riots because of that, right?
Mm.
So yeah, France have a lot of riots, like according to because of police brutality and stuff like that, claimed police brutality. So,
Jeez.
however, my question is, why is there no riots when Samuel Paty gets beheaded?
Yeah, yeah. Why there was even after the
The Bataclan,
mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
the Marseille massacres, there's plenty of them, right?
Yeah.
Man, there was no, yeah, but the French, let's say the white native French, they rioted with the yellow jackets because of gas prices or some shit.
Uh
Islam is not even like on their agenda. This is what I'm saying. They
and
don't
then
really
there was
care.
like the retirement thing too. Was that
Yeah, yeah,
France
yeah.
where they were like yeah, but was that did they burn stuff down or was that
No,
just like
no.
protesting? That was just like protesting, right?
Yeah, yeah. There was some violence too, right? But it was not like this.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, France is they have this culture of protesting and rioting, it seems. Um,
Mhm.
it's crazy. There's been plenty of riots in France the last decade.
Is there guns allowed in France?
Mm, I'm not sure. I'm sure it's not the same as in America, but yeah, the cops. Somebody asked. Yeah, of course, the cops they do have guns. Yeah.
Yeah, but I do you know if the people are allowed to? I mean, I'm sure people have illegal guns everywhere, but wow.
Uh,
Yeah, I was just looking at some of the Twitter videos that are on. Crowd in Marseille destroys police car. They burnt down the oldest public library, trains. Um, Jeez, French police are unable to control the Muslims in left wing riots taking place across the country.
no civilian may carry any weapons in a public space. Yeah,
Okay, all
yeah.
right.
A special form allows a civilian to apply for a 1 year carry license, which allows them to carry a handgun and a maximum of 50 rounds if they are exposed to exceptional risk to their lives.
Hmm. Okay.
And in practice, these licenses are only issued to politicians. Yeah. Wikipedia. Yeah.
How do you think they're going to deal with this stuff? Like, do you think like I mean like what is the solution to this? Like mass deportation, like I mean they've arrested hundreds and hundreds of people. I don't even know how their prisons are that big or where they're detaining all these people. Um but how do you think Europe can start to tackle these kinds of issues with these immigrants?
Well, the thing is, of course, when we talk about immigration, it becomes a politicized right-wing issue and essentially deemed racist. Uh,
Hmm.
so so you don't even talk about Islam anymore, right? You talk about these savages from the Middle East, blah blah blah, right? And this is my issue with that is that it doesn't really highlight the problem. It doesn't.
Hmm.
It's just saying, well, they come from there, they're different, and therefore, they act the way they do. Uh, but then again, a lot of these people have lived in the West or second generation, third generation immigrants, right? So so they actually grown up in the West, but they have learned to resent the West, and they want to prove to the people in their home countries that they are better Muslims than they are, right? Because essentially they get away from that culture, so they have to cling to something that they belong to, and they feel alienated from in the and this is what I don't understand. Sure, you feel alienated. How long are you gonna feel alienated, and how much of your own efforts are you gonna uh, how much time are you gonna blame somebody else, and did you even try to be a part of the new society, or did you just say, well, these people, they are infidels, they don't believe in Islam, so therefore, I should believe in Islam and do what Allah tells me, and don't care about what the constitution of my new country say, and then tell people that yes, we're the forebears of our culture heritage, which is Islam. It's not cultural heritage; it's religious heritage, uh, and prove to everybody that yeah, Islam will prevail even in the West, because of us. These like the way I just said it is never expressed in the media.
Hmm. Right,
Yeah,
right, because it's Islamaphobic.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I think yeah, until the problem is addressed properly and people start calling it out for what it is. But I mean, in this day of um, like oppression and racism and everything is woke politics and stuff like that. It's going to be tough. Like people have to grab their freaking squignones and start calling things for what it is. Shout out to Valley. They got G Black. Thanks for coming through, man. The kid got
Are you
killed for
okay?
speeding, but you're blaming Islam.
Um, I gotta
Hmm?
make it easy for you and say yes, since that's since that's the answer you're looking for, right? I, yeah, it was nothing to do with Islam. Well, here's the thing, though, right? Uh, we don't know the circumstances to why he got killed. Does that uh justify 3 days of nationwide rioting? I don't think so. And who are the rioters? Well, the ones from his own uh, from his own country, right? Or let's say his heritage country, right? And and they deem it to be racist and Islamophobic. Now, I said I suspect that there's more to it than just being, you know, racism being displayed here. And I said I would not be surprised if we see videos of the riots and where they shout Allahu Akbar. So yes, I do blame Islam for a lot of the problems that France in the past decades have faced. No doubt about it, right? Uh, Samuel Paty, Charlie Hebdo, the Bataclan massacres, all the other terrorist attacks that's happened. Uh, nothing, no riots because of those things, right? Uh, Somehow, you know, uh, Macron starts. putting the hammer down on mosques where the jihadis are harbored, and there's a uh, massive sanction against France from all the Ummah nations around the world, saying that you should not buy products from France. Um, Now, I would say that police brutality uh, would be an issue, right? Just like in America, it would be an issue. I highly think that it's over exaggerated in America and in France, and people are trying to. Let's put it this way: is what's his name? The guy in America who got killed,
George Floyd.
George Floyd. Was he a saint? No, he was not a saint, right? Did he deserve to be killed? No.
Mm,
Now, five black cops killed another a black man, right?
mm-hmm.
They beat him to death.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, no riots. Uh, I smell double standards. That's what I smell, right? Because it's all about colonialism and white privilege and all that. And as I said, Islam is riding a wave on that. So essentially, this has to do not with race, but with the Islamic immigration into France. But they want to ride the wave of, you know, uh, well, we need to do something about the racist police brutality, which we don't even know what happened dur- uh, during the arrest right now, right? The only thing we know that this guy got shot. We don't know more than that. But of course, like always, people jump to conclusions even before the dust has settled, and start writing against the cops because they need that spark to fight against the regime, essentially, and demonize the regime. And the outcome of it is always worse than a stabilized democratic country with problems. But yeah, that's your answer to Mr. G Block.
So I'm not sure if necessarily, like, I don't think you're blaming the guy dying on Islam, more of the like the aftermath, right? Like how they're reacting and like the aftermath. Is that what you're kind of getting at?
Yeah, because the after so yeah, the so this is a common gaslight tactic, right? But as I said, the aftermath, as we started, right? They're riding the wave of uh, being prejudiced against, and is in
Hmm.
essence then establish this Islamophobia bill. In reality, saying, if it wasn't, and you know what, this is a speculation of mine. It doesn't need to be this case in France, but in essence, you know, what the outcome would be if this has links to Islam, then it would be, well, this is because of Islamophobia, and now we need to pass the Islamophobia bill so that people will be friendlier towards Muslims, because you see what Islamophobia leads to. It leads to cops killing Muslims, right? So that's that's where I think this is leading to.
Mm. It's kind of interesting how they kind of ride left wing kind of arguments, like left wing kind of um, woke arguments, but essentially it wouldn't really be. I guess if you take Islam as a whole and take all of the um, like ideas and concepts that come along with it and had to put it on a political scale, I think it would probably end up in the authoritarian right type of ideology, right? And while they oppose things like, you know, other left wing concepts like feminism, liberalism, things like that, they are very fast to ride the woke train when it comes to getting benefits for or special status for oppression, you
Right.
know? Right, right. But at the same time, would almost be happy to oppress and do the same thing, exclude um, non-Muslims, from the larger like benefit that they claim too. So it is so back and forth. It's really back and forth. So yeah, kafar phobia bill. Yeah, we should. I mean, let's make it even, right? Kafar phobia.
But I always say this, right? So Islam doesn't care about the politics. Or let's say the people who are atop in top the top G's of Islam, right? The people, the da'is, not even the da'is, the the sheiks, the people who are closely tied to politics, that present they are the leaders of their community in Islam, that present themselves as the spokespersons for their community in Islam, right? Whether it be Sunni, Shia, Ahmadiyya, whatever, right? Or if they're from a specific region, their mosque and yeah. Uh, let's put it this way: care, people in care. That would be
Mm,
yeah. So they don't care about politics, the politics, regional politics. All they care about is if a party will favor them or not. So they ride the left wing wave, right? And now they have the problem with the LGBTQ community, which essentially Islam does not allow, and LGBT, the left wing are like, wait a minute, like, you said you were pro equality for all. Now, what's this, right? And
mm,
so the right wing is like, oh yeah, now you agree with us, so come over to us. And they're like, yeah, sure, and the right wing will be very displeased when when they realize that Islam does not share power.
mm,
And I guess the left wing will also be displeased with that because Islam writes its own politics.
mm-hmm,
It just Sharia writes its own politics. The people who sell this idea, they write their own constitutions. They essentially want this for their own people, right? And in the essence, of course, invite people to Islam because they want, they believe that Islam is the solution for the world, and everything will be perfect. And then the pile of dog shit that's behind the selling point, they just ignore it.
mm,
They put a Potemkin curtain on it and said it doesn't exist, uh, which is amazing how that works because you just have to brush on the surface and you will start to see that yeah, uh, there's more problems in Islam
mm-hmm.
than in the Western democratic world. Uh, I would say,
Well, there's more limitations on, definitely more limitations on freedom,
yeah, yeah,
you know.
yeah. I would say over the 100 years, right? The democracy have really in the West have really come to uh, uh, become prominent, and the equality and freedom for all is really something that's very prominent for everybody. Uh, However, Islam is opposed to that idea in essence.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that's what I guess a lot of people don't understand.
Well, and that's why, doing things like allowing this lady to swear in our Congress on a book that clearly states that is just it's a subversion of democracy, in my opinion. Now, when it comes to swearing in on the Bible, you could kind you But see, the Bible's not really set up as a political, like theocratic outline. So would that be considered, it doesn't really, well, I guess it does, because it wouldn't include non-believers or atheists, So it's like, should these people be swearing in on any of these books, that don't coincide with democracy? Why isn't swearing on the Constitution good enough? Because that's what you're swearing to defend, our Constitution, at home or abroad, and the protection of those rights. So it's like, by swearing in on these books that directly subvert that principle
Can you
is kind of
copy
counterintuitive, I think, to democracy in itself.
can you copy pictures? Uh, can you like share pictures on? Yeah.
Pictures. If you put the link, I can or if you put it up, just ask to screen share, and I can allow
Well,
it.
okay, I can put the link. Here's the link.
Yeah.
Look at this. He the guy asked, if it has anything to do with Islam. So
Is that the Economic Times article?
yeah, yeah,
All right. Let me
yeah.
screen share.
Allah I Ramon, justice Nahil. Yeah. So what does Allah have to do with, and why is a woman in a trash bag putting up that sign? Uh, yeah. Don't tell me this has nothing to do with Islam. If these are the people who uh, highlight the issue for you. So, I mean,
Where is All right, hold on. I gotta open this. Open. Oh, okay. It's coming up as non-today present. All right, so it says Macron, the president of France, convened a crisis meeting on Friday, the second in 2 days following one of the worst nights of protests along the country. The night witnessed extensive wave of civil unrest as crowds expressed their anger over a fatal shooting incident involving a 17-year-old boy of Algerian and Moroccan heritage. Tragically lost his life during a traffic stop that occurred on Tuesday. Oh, come on, ads. Really? Get out of here. Okay. According to a statement by Interior Minister on Twitter, significant number of individuals totaling 667 were apprehended across various regions of France during the preceding night. Cities experienced clashes between rioters and law enforcement. Where are you? Is this what you want me to show? Where's the
no,
picture?
this should be
To maintain public
there
order.
should be a picture.
Why did the France riots begin?
Wait, I don't think this is the right article. The Economic Times. No, this is not the right article. Wait,
Mm.
did you click the link I
Mm-hmm.
sent to the
Mm-hmm.
private chat?
Yeah, I'm just going through it. So it says, what? How far have the France riots spread? Um,
Yeah, yeah. Go down, go down. Yeah, after that picture. Go down. There we go.
Justice pour Nahel.
What does Allah have to do with this? Is my question. And look, and the people up front here, they just happen to be in a burqa. Would that be called a niqab?
Yeah, one or the
I
other.
call it a trash bag or
Yeah.
a poop cloth because that's essentially what it was. Because Omar told Muhammad that he spotted Al-Sada being naked when she answered the call of nature. So he ordered Muhammad to get a revelation from Allah to cover them up. So essentially, it's a
Mhm.
book for women, which is very sad actually when you think about it. But yeah,
I mean, the thing is, right? Like I've always held the position that if they want to wear it, then that's fine. If they're forced, then I don't think that's good.
I
We
get a
got
lot of
Nelly in the
love in
house.
I have a lot of love right now at the moment in your side.
G
Hello,
Block.
come on, up in this. What's going on? It's
Good
good,
man.
man.
How you doing? Good to
You
see
right,
you on
yeah?
this side, man. Big
Come
up,
on,
man.
come
Thanks for
on. I'm on
coming
the
through.
roadside. You hear me?
Nice, nice. What you saying, bro?
Yeah, man. So I come to have this quick little discussion with you guys, man. Like, obviously I disagree with the a point, a couple of points that was made. Can you
Mm-hmm.
hear me still?
Shocker,
Yep, yep.
shocker.
Yeah, shocker. So the main point I disagree with, yeah, it's like in maybe I need to understand what you're saying. Okay, it sounds like you're saying that that he was. Now, what are you saying actually? I'll tell you what. You tell me what you're saying, and then let me see if I've got what you're saying right.
I'm saying that the riots are linked to Islamic supremacists. That's what I'm saying.
The riots are linked to Islamic supremacists.
Yeah. Oh no, supremacism. Because it's not supremacism. It's just it's a forefront for Islamic supremacy to take hold. Because they're using this as a spark to lead uh, riots, to have a reason for their riots, right? Uh, and again, we don't know how this guy died or what happened. Everybody just assumed that, yeah, the cops did something wrong because he was
No,
a
but it was
Muslim.
reported. It was reported that it was a traffic. It weren't nothing to do. Like that's why I was saying like
Yeah, it's reported
why
it
I
was
kept
a
saying like
traffic
it was
stop,
reported
and
it was just a
what
traffic
happened?
stop,
Hold on.
and
It
the
was
kid
reported.
died in the traffic stop.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but what happened after that?
Yeah, the people rioted after the kid had died in the traffic stop. But
Yeah.
it's like
So
obviously
you're telling
because
me, whoa.
yeah,
You're
because
telling
yeah, but
me,
hold on, bro. Let me give my full explanation in it. Yeah, because
Yeah,
wait a
yeah.
second.
You
You went
guys are
there.
good.
You
Okay,
went there.
one
I
yeah.
second.
went there, right? Well,
All
you
right,
went
All
let's
right,
there.
go
let
I
me.
one
went
Let,
by
but
one.
let, you gotta let me finish a
Just
sentence, though, bro.
yeah,
there.
let him finish. Sam, I'm sorry, we got to go one by one because we'll have chaos. Let him finish and then you can respond. Okay, thanks. Sorry.
Yeah, like so. I was saying, yeah. Obviously, France has got a history of being very strong on the riots and protests, being very outspoken on things that are discontentful to a French citizen or whatever. But also, it's like if there's because I'm saying this more because of the circumstances of how the child died, how the teenager died, because he was killed in like a traffic stop. It weren't like in a gunfight or something like where he was committing a violent crime or something like that. That's why there's more. That's why I reckon there's more discontent on the street. Like, I would actually agree with you, yeah, if it was like say he was like a terrorist guy or he was like an extremist or do you know what I mean? Like any sort of reasoning, the reason why he was killed was a religious reason, and then the people rioted.
But you don't know
I
the
might
reason.
agree with you.
You don't know the reason.
Yeah, I don't know the reason. I'm saying that, but
And I don't know the
the
reason
reason
either.
that's given so far was a traffic stop in it. So
Yeah.
from what
But
we're
what happened? What happened after that? Right. Essentially, what you're saying is that the cops killed this guy for no reason whatsoever.
no, I never said that. I said that
Oh well,
the guy was killed in the traffic
then
stop.
yeah,
I
he
said the
was
guy
killed.
was killed in the traffic stop. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait,
So
listen.
hold
Listen,
on,
bro, because it's not you're not
hold on.
listening to what I'm saying, innit?
I'm
And
listening
then
to
you're
what you're
putting
saying.
words in my mouth.
No. Are
Yeah,
you
but
saying? Are you
you
saying?
didn't
Oh, please,
you really
please,
didn't listen to what I said, yeah,
please,
I
because
please,
did
please.
I'll
listen
tell
to
you
what
why
you
you
said.
didn't listen, yeah, because
Oh,
I did
the
listen
first
to what you
sentence
said.
that you repeated that was mine wasn't the sentence that I made.
Yeah. So are you saying that cops have a tendency to go around and stopping people and shooting them on sight for no reason whatsoever?
I didn't say that either.
Then what are you saying?
I said that the people rioted, or seems like they was discontent with the way the guy died because it was a traffic stop. That's
Okay.
what I said.
Okay. So what I'm saying is people jumped the shark. They didn't know what happened. Clearly, we don't know exactly what happened, why he got killed,
Right, right.
and they tied it into uh, it's Islamophobia, and therefore they start writing about it. That's my speculation, though. I am not very sure. But again, when I
Mm.
when I look at the pictures here, right, and I wouldn't be surprised if people shouted Allahu Akbar during these riots, right? And
You, but
3 days riots, mass riots, uh, just turning it into a hellhole, that is not justified for what happened, in my opinion, even if it wasn't related to Islam. So yeah, uh,
yeah, that's cool. That's your opinion. You're entitled to that, innit? Like, I ain't gonna tell you what opinions you should hold. I can disagree with your opinion, though, innit? Like, and say that, like, I disagree or whatever, innit? Like, because, and again, that the other thing is like, if you're like a Muslim from the Islamic community or whatever, and something bad happens or whatever, obviously you're gonna shout. Like, if you're a Christian, you're gonna say like God help me, Jesus, and all that sort of stuff. Like, if you're a Muslim, you're gonna say Allah Akbar
because
and all that
Jesus,
sort of stuff. So,
because
innit?
Christians going around and rioting is a big thing,
No, but
right?
bro, did you hear
They
what I
always
said?
go,
I said
they always go around and riot.
if something bad happens to if something bad happens to a Christian or whatever, yeah, or anything like that, then do they not say call on Jesus' name? And when anything bad happens, do they pray to
Yeah,
God?
yeah, but they don't do it they don't do it with at the side of riots, right? They don't go around and instigating riots and then
Yeah,
uphold
Christians do
signs.
riot, bro.
Oh, they do?
Yeah. Christians
Really?
do riot, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm. I can't remember the last time there was a Christian riot. Actually, I seen protests, Christian protests, but not riots. And I don't see like them holding up signs on the sidelines of those protests saying that Jesus will punish the ones who will not give justice to those who get killed, and at the same time throwing rocks at the police. I don't see that from the Christian side.
Yeah. You've never seen a Christian riot, yeah? There's never been no Christian uprisings
No, I never
about anything,
say
yeah?
it's never been, but
So
I
what are you
can't
talking about
remember.
then, man? That's because that's
I
the point that I made. Of
I
Christians have
can't.
rioted.
Okay. When was the last time we saw a Christian riot in the
Yeah,
name of Christianity?
probably a
When
long
was the
time
last
ago.
time yeah,
Yeah, probably a long time ago. But
yeah.
that wasn't the point I was making. That it was a long time ago. I was saying that
Well,
Christians do riot.
that should be a good point though, because every time we speak about Islam, people
Yeah,
always want to bring up
but your
people
point is
want to
that they're rioting
bring up
because they're
history.
Muslims and not because of what happened.
Yeah.
And I'm disagreeing with that point. I'm saying they're
Well,
rioting
yeah,
because
yeah.
the people were rioting because the teenager was killed by a police officer in a traffic stop.
Mm.
That would probably kick off over here as well. If it was just a traffic stop, a random kid was killed. He was
Yeah.
popular enough that enough people knew him. That would
No,
kick off as in a protest. People was outside. People kicked off on the Mark Duggan thing when he got killed.
it would probably be linked. It would probably be linked to race, right? I'm saying this is not with race. This is doing to do with Islam.
To do,
I I,
yeah,
I see I see your
I don't think that they're
pictures.
rioting just because they're Muslims though. Like maybe they feel the connection to the youth more because he was a Muslim.
Yeah.
But like, I disagree with your premise, bro. Listen to this here as well. Yeah, I'm not even religious as well. Yeah, so if there was a chance to say that religion was at fault, I would take that chance. So let me explain that to you at least. So you think like, bro, I'm not trying to be biased. I'm not trying to be biased, bro. I'm trying to
No,
be
no,
as fair as I
I
can in
don't,
it.
I don't. Yeah, yeah. But the thing is, when we talk about Islam, people always want to bring it to Christianity and the Crusades,
Yeah,
and I
yeah. I
see,
have it all the time on my panel. I have it all
and
the time on my panel.
I
Anytime anyone
see.
criticizes Islam, you'll have a
Mhm.
million people jump on caping and rah rah rah. But at the same sort of times though, yeah, if the person's making a criticism and it doesn't line up with what it is, I will say that it's wrong as well. If they're making a
Yeah.
criticism and it lines up with what it says, I will agree with the criticism and
Well,
say you should be
okay. So
laying out.
so so listen. We're in the middle of it, right? We're in the middle of
Yeah,
this right now,
Yeah.
And my speculation is that yes, this is deeper than just the killing, right? And but I can back it up
Yeah,
with
because there was riots
is
in France
hold on,
a
hold on,
while
hold
ago
on, hold,
before
hold
this.
on, hold on. What I can
Alright.
back it up with is because yes, there was riots. We already talked about this before we came out, right? Those riots were actually not linked to the migration or Islam. It was because of the Yellow West and the pensions, retirements and stuff like that. But during the World Cup, right? Moroccans rioted all around France and Belgium, shouting Allahu Akbar. They won, they rioted. They lost, they rioted. Right. Uh, so these have you gotta distinguishing riots and what the cause of the riots. Sure, France have a lot of riots because the culture. I said this before it came out. They have
Yeah.
this culture of rioting. Sure. Uh, However, I would not be surprised if after all this, people will say, you got to stop Islamophobia or anything like that. And the cause that killed this guy was because of Islamophobia. I would not be surprised if that would be the case here. And again, the
The police
pictures
officer's been arrested
hold on, hold
for
on,
that.
hold on. The pictures that shows this, sorry, killed because of this. The pictures that show this, uh, with the people being up front here, tends to tends to be talking to my favor. But by the way, Jen, I saw those pictures about the Capitol, right?
Yeah,
Now,
that was last year.
yeah. So
And what was the reason for that riot last year?
yeah. So was that because of Christianity?
But what was the reason
Um,
for that riot last year, though?
so that was at the Capitol. Was that? I'm trying to let me find out.
Because French people riot a lot, and they protest a lot
No,
in the
yeah,
streets.
but no. We're talking
They're
about
quicker to
Christianity
they're
here.
quicker to wait. Yeah, but I'm not talking. You're talking about Christianity, innit?
Yeah,
There,
because
like
Jen posted some pictures about riots in
yeah,
the
I was just
Capitol.
going through. So it was in
the French riots or
Washington.
whatever.
No,
Oh, Christian riots.
this was in
Yeah, I don't
America
know. I
at the.
don't think they were tied to Christianity. They were more
It
right
was
wing
the
No,
political.
but
Christian.
you see
Yeah, it
what I
was the
was saying though.
nationalists in America that went to the Capitol. The Christian nationalists. And they had like a protest and stuff. I don't think they burned anything down. I think they set off some like smoke bombs or something like that. And they had like crosses and blah blah blah. But I'm trying to remember why. Let me see. Oh, it was rioters who breached January 6th. Yeah, it was the January 6th ones. It was the January 6th. Like they got pictures of like here, I'll put it back up. Let me see. Add to stream. So see like this, like Christianity on display at Capitol riot sparks new debate. Christian nationalism. That was the January 6th thing. Some people were out here like this uh
Mm.
it, you know, Capitol riots and stuff like uncomfortable truth about Christian involvement in the Capitol riots. Um, so that's like more, militant Christian nationalists, um, a potent force, whatever. That was just during the January 6th thing. But I think probably I don't know if it had. Obviously it didn't have to do like with Christianity, but they definitely made a display there, like Christian symbols and sedition at the Capitol. The church has work to do, Baptist Global Network. But most of these Christians are like, the leaders are kind of opposing this, right?
Yeah, so what if the imams and all that is opposing the thingamabs? Man, he's not going to give the
That would be
same
good.
leeway.
That would be good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but I'm
hope they
saying that
are.
he's not going to give the same leeway though. He's just going to say, yeah, but it's still Islam's fault.
Well, this is why I had Sam on, because
So
Sam is a character who is staunchly opposed to Islam. He is constantly, critiquing and looking up things. And this is why, I labeled the show as such, and put the huge, yeah, I put the huge disclaimer in my trigger warning in the
You're trying to get
description.
fatwas out here, Jen, man. Yeah.
What?
You remember that we had there was a fatwa on G Block last year, so I don't know. I don't know
Exactly.
if you want to take over that fatwa mantle where the people them are just mad at you. Do you
Man,
know what I
like
mean? That
I mean, it already is. Like, I think people know what it is with me at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, after all the surface thing happened and all of that happened with Raj and everything, like, it just, yeah, man, like, I'm good. Like, I saw these people for who they
yeah,
were,
you see,
you
man,
know?
do what man's really want to do rather than what man want
Right.
to show you. Yeah,
Exactly. So I'm just like at that point now. I'm not
So
trying to be like, tiptoeing
I
around
found a
and
video where the guy got shot.
oh,
Yeah,
all right.
see that again, bro?
I found a video where the guy got shot.
Oh, what the the French riot one?
Nahil. Yeah, Nahil.
All right, let's see. Yeah,
So
so I mean,
apparently he drove away and then they shot him. Um, yep. The cop is suspended with homicide charges. Um,
good.
so yeah, it doesn't seem to be justified, right? Although I will say, if a cop has a gun on you, then maybe you should get out of your car and not try to run away. Would be a good idea. Uh, but yeah. Um,
Yeah. So what? After seeing that video, what's your opinion on the outrage so far? Then have you changed your opinion? Or is it still the same?
my opinion is still the same. That yes. Here we go. Here's another article. The biggest issue was never the like if the cops did anything right or wrong on this one. The
It was
problem
the
was the
reaction.
riot in itself. Yeah, the reaction in itself, the riots, and what they mean by the riots.
Mm.
So here we go. Mob shouts Allahu Akbar during riots in France after teen shot by police. Why am I not surprised? I said,
Yeah, but what does that mean though, Sam? If they're shouting Allah Akbar, all right. What does that actually mean?
what does Allahu Akbar have to do with this guy's death?
They're just shouting good is good. Good God is good.
Yeah, so I'm gonna shout Kufaru Akbar.
Yeah, but what does it mean though? What does it have to do with the argument
Well,
against
the yeah,
why
the
shouldn't they be allowed? Let me ask you this then: why shouldn't they be allowed to say Allah Akbar at that protest or when they're doing their thing there?
because well, of course they are allowed, right? I'm not saying they are not allowed. What I'm saying is that this is linked to Islam, and again, as I said, I wouldn't be surprised if these people who were actually rioting were be the ones who shouting Allahu Akbar, which essentially is exactly what we just found out. So
Sorry, would you repeat that last bit again? Because a motorbike went past and I couldn't hear what you're saying.
yeah, so I'm saying that of course they will be free to shout Allahu Akbar. That's not my issue.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that of course the people who rioting are the ones who shouting Allahu Akbar because they want this to be tied with Islam and saying that they shot this guy because of Islamophobia. The people who are rioting just happens to be the same people that wants to demoralize the West and establish Sharia and shouting Allahu Akbar while doing it. And here we go.
So
Yeah, you
let's
could have a
read
point.
this.
You could have a
Let's
point,
read this.
but
mm,
there could be a. Sorry, John. What did you say?
No, I just want to read this one sentence, right? So An investigative journalist shared videos of the riots on Twitter where the mob can be heard saying Allahu Akbar while vandalizing vehicles and setting them afire. Is that
Shocker.
is that a situation where people should be praising God like as they're destroying stuff and burning stuff down?
Don't you know Allah is the most merciful?
I mean, I don't know. Do you Vel, like what do you think, Vel?
Yeah,
Isn't
the
that
people
kind of
them do that in their
wild?
when they're doing their wars all the time, man. You know what I mean, like God help me with my wars, and they go and do their thing, shoot up the place or bomb up and whatnot. And the others do their thing when they're doing their shit. Innit? Like everyone thinks that their air quotes God is going to be on their side when they're doing their shit, and they want God to kill
Okay,
their enemies
this is
when
this
they're
is a
against them.
good this is a good exercise. So
Mm.
since we wanted to tie in Christianity with the Capitol riots, or you know
Like, do you know what,
it
bro? I didn't
wasn't
think it.
it
I don't
wasn't
think
even a
Christians would
riot,
have
man.
rioted like that. I wouldn't
Yeah,
give
yeah,
you.
yeah,
I wouldn't say that was the answer. Like
yeah. But
Christians wouldn't riot
anyway,
the same.
I want to see if we can see like people shouting, in the name of Jesus, or God is great, or something like that. While they were attacking the Capitol. Let's see if that happened.
When they
Uh,
attack the capital. Yeah, but
yeah,
really
yeah.
and truly, yeah. So,
Let's see if if the people who were supposed to be Christians there actually shouted
see,
anything in
wait,
Jesus' name.
see, you found your own video, yeah, and that you know that they're not gonna say Jesus or Ryan,
No, 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 no. I'm
and that's the
asking Jen.
evidence.
I'm asking Jen to bring up some videos. I'm gonna see. This is a good exercise to see if we can actually match it. Because when Muslims, or let's call them jihadis, because what they're doing right here is jihad actually. When the jihadis riot, or try to make a point, they always shout Allahu Akbar. I don't see Christians when they try to make a point saying, even if they become violent, which is a very rare case, saying this is in Jesus' name.
We're like the KKK when they do their thing. They're extreme Christians, and they.
It's funny that you mentioned KKK, because the
Mm.
earliest ties to
Adolf Hitler
KKK is actually Islamic.
Yeah, did you know
is
that,
what
Valley? That the
Is
yeah
Islamic.
the
that the
oldest ties to.
the
No, when
KKK
it was some
had a
Scottish
Is
guys.
Islamic.
It was
no.
some
So
No.
older now, but it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
some
yeah, yeah.
Scottish guys.
Yeah, yeah,
no.
Wait,
but
hold
but
on,
but
hold on.
yeah, but do you know their whole holy script is called the Quran?
Yeah, Kloran. They had a book. The KKK's first book was called the Holy Kloran, and it was like a nod to Islam. Like there's deep ties between Islam and the KKK. It's crazy. I didn't know that. Oh boy, we got opposition in the house.
You've actually got a Muslim now, boy.
Yeah,
but
let's
all right, but
ghost
let me
in
say
the
my little
house.
one sentence though, yeah,
Yeah, go for it.
because like I was saying about at the right or whatever. It's a bit of a hard argument to argue for or against, right? When you're because you're just saying like they were shouting Allah Akbar while they was damaging property or whatever. It's, it's like, how would you make the equivalent to a Christian country going on a riot, like shouting whatever they would shout? Like how would you make a fair comparison on that? Like, I don't think you could, because it's sort of unique to them, innit?
It's cultural. Well, it's cultural. People use it. I've seen Muslims shout Allah Akbar when they score a goal. It's just a quick cultural saying that people will use from time to time. Now, if you look at it West, when atheist women or other women are having sex and they're saying, oh God," yeah, does that mean that they actually having sex because of their God or mentioning their God while doing it? It's cultural saying that people will use when they're passionate. People use certain sayings when they get embroidered in passion. And, and this guy, this Islamaphobe that Jen is platforming, is obviously using this, is using this is using this to push his anti-Muslim, anti-Islam propaganda. Is clear. He's making links when there are any. People can make links to all sorts if they really hate something or have a passion about something, and that's all that's happening here. It's just propaganda.
But the Arab Christians call God Allah as well.
Do they? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
much
The Arab
about
Christians call God Allah as well.
Christianity because I
Lebanese
don't
Christians
focus
call
on
God Allah
the faiths
as well.
like the Islamophobes do. They're more concerned with what's going on with Muslims and Islam than
You know
trying
what it
to
is, bro?
make
Yeah,
sure.
it's if you're on one side or the other or whatever, yeah, you have to find out as much information as possible, innit? So
Well,
man's gonna do
I don't know, man. If you have the
information
belief
that
in your
goes for
thing,
his argument.
then concentrate on your thing, innit?
I just want to
And
greet
if you're
Mr.
more
Ghost
embroidered in another thing,
with
because this guy's
Bismillah
been chatting
ar-Rahman
shit.
ar-Rahim.
He's been
Hey,
chatting
Ghost,
shit for all this
let's Sam have a
time,
go,
yeah.
bro.
Chill, Sim.
He's been
Yeah,
fucking
let's Sam have a
chatting
go,
shit
bro.
for so long, yeah, trying to make links when there are any. And just in Cardiff, about 2 weeks ago, Valley, we had riots from all white people when the police chased down 2 youths on e-bikes, and
Yeah.
they ended up crashing into somebody, yeah. And then people rioted, rightly so, because the police should not be doing that. France is notorious for rioting and protests and
And that
stuff
weren't
like
really
that.
reported that
But
much as well, innit? It was in the paper for one day
yeah,
and then out.
yeah. So this sort of stuff happens, but
Again,
people will make
hold on
links.
Hold on one second. Did those riots continue for 4 days like these riots are
It
going
doesn't
right now?
matter. Sometimes you
Yeah,
mess
of
with
course
the
it
wrong
matters. Of
people,
course it
then people
matters.
will
Of
take
course
it
it
Nah, it
back.
matters.
didn't carry on for 4 days, but it was still a riot, though, innit?
Yeah, it was a
It
Yeah,
weren't
the
in
thing is,
comparison to
sometimes
4 days,
riots
though.
gotta
here's the
continue.
thing. Hold on.
All right, you guys,
But
Look at George
we
Floyd.
gotta go one by
Riot.
one.
yo,
Yeah, we gotta go one
yeah,
by
let
one.
Sam go,
I'm
bro.
not here
You
I
for a
gotta let
know
him
shouting
go,
this
bro.
is
match.
passionate, but we gotta
Yeah,
just chill. Let's just bring it down. It's all good.
yeah,
We have time. We're not going nowhere. Let's just have a discussion.
yeah.
Yeah, let him have a
So,
go as well, bro.
so yeah. So the thing is, of course, I said this many times now. I'm getting tired of repeating myself, but France have culture and history of protest and riots. However, you cannot just put all riots into one basket and say, well, that's France, because different riots have different sparks, different riots have different outcomes. People protest for different reasons, right? So you cannot really say that a protest for the yellow jackets or for their retirement plans is the
Yeah, but you're
same
making a link. Yeah, you said it, man. You said it.
is the same as a protest that
Yeah, but you're making a link when a kid was killed.
let me
A
Ghost,
kid
I
was
beg.
killed.
Ghost, bro. You
What
gotta
the
let him
fuck?
get
The
to the end
guy,
of his
you're
sentence,
chatting
man, and then you
shit.
can go.
He just
Yeah,
fucking
but you gotta
rambling.
let him get to the end of his sentence, though, Brody, man. Else it's
He's
just
never
gonna
gonna
keep
get
getting
to
cut
the
out.
end of the sentence because he's just gonna fucking ramble on. That's all he's doing. Been listening to this guy for like 40 minutes now. Just been chatting
Yeah,
shit.
let him. You gotta let him finish though, because all this makes the
All right,
sentence
all
take
right,
longer,
all
and
right.
now man's got to
Go
start
on,
again.
go on, go on, go on, go on. All right, safe. All right.
Yeah. So you cannot really equal it with what's going on right now, because it's essentially saying this is because of Islamophobia, and because they because they want to change the law in France so that you will not be able to speak anything bad about Islam, right? Now
Oh my
again,
god. Have you fucking finished?
now my question is again then, where were the riots, when Samuel Paty got beheaded and when Charlie Hebdo massacres happened and the Bataclan massacres happened? What happened in Marseille? Where were the protests from, the peaceful Muslims going around saying, these Muslims do not represent us?
This guy is fucked. But what I'm trying to say, yeah, this guy first he's saying you can't link the riots, and then he's trying to link other people's riots to other
Well,
causes. Yeah.
I link it with Islam,
No,
right?
no, no.
Because
Yeah, exactly. Because you're
because
Islamophobe. Yeah.
no,
Look,
no,
now let me
because
finish.
we are
Shut
talking
the
about
fuck
All
up.
right,
Islam,
No, no,
and
no, no, no. Now
this
let me
has to
finish.
do with
Yeah.
Islam.
Let
okay,
me
Sam.
finish now. Yeah. You've fucking been going on for a while. Yeah.
No, but
So
here's
he's
the
Okay.
thing
trying to
though.
make. Yeah. No,
We're
no, no, no,
talking
no,
about
no, no,
Islam.
no. All
Okay.
right. If
The
you want
link
to go at
is
it, we'll just
Islam.
go at it full throttle then. because
Yeah,
The
no,
link.
don't
you
do
start
that. Don't
putting
do
in.
that. I don't wanna have to like just please. All right, Sam, allow him to go now, please.
Yeah, so he's making links when there are any. Yeah, he's saying, "Oh, people rioted over this, but why didn't they riot over that?" That's like saying people mad protests when a few people got killed on London Bridge, but when a million people got killed in Iraq, people never spoke up. He's trying to make statements and trying to make links when there are any. People rioted here, like I said, just a few weeks ago when some kids got killed on an e-bike. Yeah, and them riots went on for days. Yeah. So now he also made another point where he stated, "Oh, them riots went on for days," but it depends on the situation and what community you're dealing with. Some people will go in harder at you, and some people won't. It's just it depends on the people you're actually dealing with and that on what they're upset about.
Is it right if I cut
If
in?
you killed if you killed a child from any community, I'm sure they're gonna kick off. And
Do you know
that's
what?
all it
Yeah,
is. A child get killed. No, but Veli, the thing is, this guy is so disgusting. He's trying to use the death of a child
You're
to
acting
push
like
his
this guy.
propaganda. To push
You're
his
acting like this guy
propaganda.
was a
Yeah,
completely
no,
innocent,
no,
though.
this is what you're doing. This is what you're
I'm
doing.
not saying
You're
that.
using a death
Hold on. I'm
of
not
a
saying that
child.
this
You're
guy.
trying to downplay
This
a
always
death of
happens,
a
right?
child just to push
Yeah,
your
yeah. So he's
Muslim.
17 years
Now
old.
the
Wait. He's
yes.
17 years old. So you say that he's a child?
well, he's
Oh
a
my god, he's
teenager,
gonna go
isn't
down
it?
that road.
He's a
All right,
teenager.
he's a child. No. It's okay. He's a child. 17 years. So tell me, was Aisha a child?
Oh,
Oh my
look at
god.
this. Now he's trying to go that. Can you stick
No,
to
no,
the
no,
topic,
no, no,
please?
no, 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 no,
No,
no.
no,
For
now
God's
stick to the
Because we're
topic.
sake,
talking
man.
about
Because
Islam.
different communities,
Yeah,
different
we're
age
talking about
ranges,
Islam,
it
right?
changes.
You're
Yeah,
always
no, we're not
advocating
talking about
for.
Islam. We're
Oh
not
God.
talking
We
about
are talking
Islam.
about
Because
Islam. The link
I
is
don't come
Islam.
on to talk about it. The thing
Yeah.
is your obsession with Islam.
Nobody asked you
No,
to
no,
come
Hey,
this
up
is your
Sam,
and
Ghost.
obsession.
raise
Guys,
Hold on a
Muhammad.
sec here.
guys,
No, no,
please.
no, no, no.
Let,
This
let me
guy,
make a wait.
thi-
Hold on. Let me
I'm
make another point here that we might at least cut the tension a little bit here because if you got to be fair in your comparisons though, Sam, bro. Yeah, because when if the first like we don't actually know the full reason of the first guy's murder, right? So we can't really compare it to the Charlie Hebdo situation if we're going to
Sorry,
be fair. And
no,
which
no,
one?
yeah, Veli, this
so
guy
you
is
see,
just
wait,
an all-out
hold on a sec, Ghost, bro.
Islamophobe.
Hold on a sec, bro. I'm saying that you see, the Moroccan, the teenager that died, the
Yeah.
one in the car. We don't know the reason for his death in it, like, or why he was killed. Like, all it was is just we know it was a traffic stop. Seems like he tried to get away or something, and then he's been shot. So we can't really link it to the same thing as the
Oh,
Charlie
this guy will
Hebdo.
link anything. Lolook how he
The
links
he-
No,
now
but
a
here's
bro,
the
17-year-old to
the
something happened
reason.
come on, man.
1400 years
Okay,
ago.
Hey, Ghost,
okay.
You know what you got?
All
You got to
right, all right.
control. You got to control your thing, your outburst, bro, because
Yeah.
you won't ever be able
Yeah.
to get to the end of a conversation with anyone if they because you're going to keep chatting over them, innit? And
He's
then it's
just
going to make you
he's
look
just
mad, even if the person is
this is
making a wrong
Clubhouse. This is
statement.
Clubhouse again. Muslims always get angry when I expose their deen. But
Oh,
no,
yeah. Now it's about Muslims again. This is about
this
Muslims
is
again.
about
This
is
is
this
what I
is
mean. But this guy can't help it.
But
He's
bro,
yeah.
obsessed.
you
He
keep
needs help.
biting his bait, bro. He keeps just laying out little baits for you to bite on, and you just keep biting
No.
on them.
If he wants to buy, he'll get by.
Yeah,
He'll get
yeah.
by.
Let's.
Because
Yeah,
this is what he's doing. I'm just
this is
proving
why
that this
Speaker's
guy is
Corner
an
is not.
Islamophobe, and he's
This is
just
why
using
Speaker's Corner
this
is not
to
safe
bash
anymore
Muslims. And
because you
I
cannot have a
think
proper
even
debate.
though my style might be different, but I'm still proving the point that I'm trying to make.
You didn't
Yeah,
prove
but
anything.
And
your point will
him
hit home better. Listen,
mentioning,
hey, Ghost. You know your
You just
point will
speak
hit
over
home better,
people.
yeah. If you lay it out calmly, innit? So if you're able to lay out your point
well,
calm
I got
and
my
clear, yeah,
own.
your point
Yeah,
will hit
no,
home better.
I'm just proving my point. And if, with him having to go to the Prophet's wife, that proved my point. That hit the nail on the head because
Yeah,
that had
but
no context to this conversation.
It does have a
Yeah, but he took
context.
it there.
It does have a context because
No,
you're a Muslim
no,
and you're
no, no,
advocating
no.
for Islam. So you get
okay.
No,
angry
I'm not advocating for
because
Islam.
I'm linking
I'm just
Islam
telling
where it's
you that
supposed
you're
to
an
be. Look,
Islamophobe and you're using a
can
death
you mute him
of a
for a second so
Yeah,
I can
17-year-old
speak?
to push
Okay.
your
Thank goodness I can
propaganda.
speak.
That's all
All
I'm
right,
Thank
doing.
okay,
goodness I can
all
speak.
right,
Thank you.
please. Okay, you guys, we got to bring it down a little bit. I know that this is a passionate conversation, and Ghost. To be fair, this is exactly why I labeled the stream as such. Like, literally. Sam is, in fact, an Islamaphobe. Yes. He does put propaganda against Islam. Yes. That's why he, does what he does. Halima had him on her stream. She platformed the same Islamaphobe,
That's that waiver,
and
right?
was laughing and joking, and they were
Okay.
kikiing it up, and all that kind of stuff. And she didn't have any disclaimers or anything. But anyway, fuck that bitch. We're on my stream. I would just like to have a little bit of,
Yeah.
let's just chill and bring it
So
down a
let me
little
let
bit.
me
I
let
am
me
chilling,
try to
yeah. But
set.
what I
No,
was
no, no, no,
saying,
no,
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 no.
Ari,
wait,
Let
wait, wait.
me let
Ari,
me
No,
finish
Jen
Ari,
first.
just made some
Ghost,
points, man.
Tomato,
Jen,
It's
with
gonna be
Jen
Tomato,
just,
impossible.
Ghost.
Hey
Let me
lads,
finish
let
Jen,
Jem
first
finish.
point.
Wait. Used to let Jem finish, yeah, and then she'll say who's going next.
yeah, let
Okay,
me go next in it because Jen made
No,
some
let
points
Jen,
to me,
bro. Let
not
Jen
to this
finish, yeah, and
dude.
then she can say Ghost and then Sam or whoever, innit? Let Jen say it.
okay. Thanks, Philly. Thanks. Yeah. So anyway, so yes, this is why I put the disclaimer. This is why we did this. We know exactly what to expect from Sam. I thought it would be kind of interesting to have him on and see where it went with the discussion. So I'm happy that you came by, but let's just please try to go one by one. I know how you can get. But let's try to do it a little calm, okay? No tamasha, yeah. All right, go
Jen, go
ahead.
on. Who's
So
next?
who's
Go ahead.
next?
All right, go ahead, Ghost, and then we'll go to Sam.
All
Oh,
right. Okay.
path
So
of the least
first of all, yeah,
resistance.
In it.
yeah. So first of all, I seen the trial, yeah, but when it involved a death of a child, and this guy is using it as propaganda now. With Halima having him on or not having him on, I've not heard the stream. I don't know what the discussion about. I've never heard of this dude before, yeah. So I'm just gonna react to what he says and what's the stream about. So this isn't about you, Jen, but it is about this guy using a death of a 17-year-old and then making it to link it to Islam and push his propaganda. When we know when there's police brutality, look what happened to George Floyd. There's a worldwide protest over one dude dying. You understand? Worldwide, and that had nothing to do with Islam. But
Mhm.
people rioted for days. Celebrities come out. Laws got changed. Statues got built. This happens. But this guy is so obsessed with Islam and Muslims. I feel sorry for him because if you're obsessed, that means you're just hurting yourself, dude. That's it. You're just
So,
making links, and then you're not even caring about that a 17-year-old got killed by police because you're so wrapped up in your hate that you don't give a shit.
So I think throughout the discussion, Sam has made certain statements such as this is his opinion, and that it wasn't the killing itself, but it was the aftermath and the reaction. So the reaction, what he's linking to some Islamic, maybe some Islamic supremacist kind of ideology that's going around in France, is the rioting, the aftermath, the show of force, and then comparing it to other
Or
instances
George
where
Floyd.
no. So like when he mentioned, the crimes done by Muslims where the other side didn't really riot or react. So I think,
I don't know why that's
But
got
I can,
anything to do with it.
Jen, I can speak for
This
myself
was done by
if
the
it's okay.
police. This was done by
No.
the
I
police.
listen to you now. I listen to
okay,
you now.
all right,
You relapse back.
now let Sam go through, please.
Yeah, yeah. So, no, mute up, Ghost.
I'm not muting. Go fuck you. Mute.
Thank you.
All right, we're not going to do that, please.
Yeah, hey,
We've
Ghost man,
remained
come on, bro.
we've
Come
remained
on.
Come on,
civil.
who's he to tell me what to
Yeah,
do?
bro,
No,
yeah,
I'm
He's
just
only
asking.
mute
on
up
this.
while he's
He's only
chatting,
on
and
the
then he'll be
screen
on
Right,
mute
to
while you're
silence me.
speaking because he didn't cut you still. So that is
Yeah.
kind of fair.
right,
He's only
He didn't
trying
cut
right.
you
to
while you were
silence
speaking still.
me. Man. He
Okay,
doesn't
go
want to have
through.
a discussion.
It's okay.
Yeah,
Go through.
yeah, yeah. So, of what you say is true, Jin, and of course, if you have a link which is Islam, then you're gonna speak about the link which is Islam and tie those together. And as I said multiple times now, uh, if you have different reasons for rioting, will not be the same if you riot for another reason or protest for another reason. Now, essentially, yes, I'm against riots in any form. I don't think they should. I think there's a detrimental. It's
Oh, fuck's
detrimental to
sake.
the system, right? Because rioting is essentially leading to bad outcomes. However, I can already see where this is going, where this when the community, the jihadi, because it's not even Islamic or Muslim here, it's basically waging jihad upon France, and it's been going on for a long time. The riots that were going on during the World Cup, and multiple riots prior to that, uh, that's always tied somehow to Islam and Islamophobia, right? Uh, for example, when we have the sanctions against France, when the Ummah nations rised up, saying you should not buy French products, was an example. Even though somehow they did have not have a problem with all the terror attacks against France, right? Then there was no protest against that. Instead, what they did was harbor a lot of terrorists in the mosques. And Macron said, "Enough is enough. Let's do something about it." And what happened? Well, protests, right? At least there were protests, not riots, but protests. So of course we're gonna see the link. All right, we're gonna see the link with Islam here, and this event right now that's going on, the riots that's going on right now because of this guy who died, is no exception. Now, do I think that the cops here did the right thing? No. However, again, this guy doesn't seem to be a saint, right? Uh, and it's really funny that this guy calls him a child at 17 because he would advocate that Aisha was not a child at 6 years old or 9 years old. But somehow this guy, who's a perpetrator of the law, even though he doesn't deserve to be dead, is now a child. So he's using the secular law of France against itself, which is a common theme from jihadis.
All right, Ghost, it's on you. Go through
Yo,
then.
is it right if I cut in
Oh,
before
belly.
Ghost or after
Yes,
Ghost?
yeah. Go to the
No, no,
belly.
Belly,
Then
you
go.
go, man, because this guy just made dead points.
Yeah.
Uh,
You know
Yeah,
what?
you go.
Sam, you see that's what I'm trying to say. The only point that I really disagree with you on, yeah, is linking the the second riot to Islam because, like we're saying, we already know the initial reason seems like it's more leaning towards that the guy was killed, like it wasn't for a religious reason, isn't it? So that's
No, he
that's why
wasn't
it's a bit
killed
hard, isn't
for
it?
a religious reason. I'm not saying he was killed
Yeah,
for a
yeah, yeah.
religious
But
reason.
that's why I'm
I'm not
trying to
saying
say
that.
that it's harder to link it to
Yeah, you
the
chatting shit.
religion than what. But this is what this
No,
because
but
obviously,
I'm saying the
but
riots are
yeah,
because
yeah.
of religious
I get what
reasons.
you're saying, yeah. But this is why I'm saying it's kind of hard to link it to religion. It might not be for you, innit?
Okay,
Just
okay,
in my
okay.
He's
own
trying.
You know
mind.
what?
Hold on, let
You
me
know, you
explain to
know.
you what I'm
What
saying,
do you
bro.
call my turn now, yeah?
Wait. I ain't
Let's
finished
do
yet.
Sorry,
I ain't
this.
finished yet.
all right,
I hadn't finished.
sorry,
I hadn't
Belly, you
finished.
go, then I'll come.
I hadn't finished you guys, yeah. So
All
why
right,
I
Belly,
was
you go,
saying
then
that,
I'll
yeah,
come.
was because like it was because the guy that was killed was a Muslim. That's why there's loads of Muslims protesting in this protest. Like, so it's a bit hard to say it's because of the religion, but the guy was already a Muslim that was killed. That's why there's Muslims protesting, sort of thing. So it's
Yeah.
hard to say that it's because
No,
of
it's not
Islam or
hard.
whatever.
I don't think it's hard. I mean,
Well, for
No,
me
okay.
anyway. But
So,
cause and
okay,
effect.
so,
Cause and effect. It's
yeah,
very
so,
easy.
Belly, this guy is just making dead points. And, I'm quite embarrassed for Jen that she platformed such an idiot. Yeah, that he's not even coming up with the a decent argument. Now, if we compare it to George Floyd, that went on
this
for
is
months.
this
It
is
was
usual.
over.
This is
Look,
what they
I
do.
didn't cut this guy. Yeah,
This
now
is
he's
what they
cutting
do.
me.
No, please let him.
So
Please let him go. Please let him
yeah, I
go.
didn't cut him. Even though this fucking dickhead told me to go on mute and this, that, the other,
All
tried
right,
to
with the
fucking
cussing.
dictate to me. Yeah, but I still did not cut him. I let him finish. But
All right, so go through.
his Islamophobia is a bit hard to control for him. Yeah, but the thing is
Gaslight,
now.
gaslight,
Yeah.
demonize, gaslight.
We
That's all
seen
they
you.
do.
We seen you. We seen you. What you for? Yeah. So we seen it. Police. Whenever there's police brutality, there always these like riots. Now it depends on the communities that the police target at that moment in time. Will riot. Some will go further. Some won't. Some might just do peaceful protests, and some might do violent protests. With George Floyd, we seen it. It went worldwide, and the riots went on for days. I think even might went on for like months or even longer. So I really don't know what this guy's link is, and I think his fear is I got him that they're trying to make a ban on Islamophobia or something, and this is why this guy is so hurt and worried that some legislation might come out to protect Muslims or Islam. Like you obviously you got
So should
anti-Semitism
so
laws.
Ghost, do you think
You-
that should be a thing? Like, do you think legally people should be prosecuted for, being, I guess, Islamophobic in their like just words and not. I mean, I could see if they're doing actions, or harming people, but
Well,
if
if their
somebody,
words leads to actions, then yeah.
then that would be
Then
incitement to violence, though. But do you think like
yeah, but it's
people
like
should?
look, Jen, you've got the anti-Semitism law at the moment, haven't you? So
Right,
different
and I don't
communities
agree. I don't agree with that. I think
and
that's
different
wrong.
communities, like in the UK, Sikhs can carry knives
You guys
with
are
them
so
legally. Look, this guy's
jealous
butting in
of
again.
the
Yeah,
anti-Semitism
uh,
law,
the
right?
Sikhs can carry knives with
You
them
guys are so jealous
legally
of the
when other
Yeah, but
anti-Semitism
communities
law.
can't.
right, because they have freedom to practice their religion just like any other religion does.
No, but
Um,
it goes against the law of the land. But that law has been changed for them.
okay,
So different communities can be given different statuses. And if the Muslim community want this and fight for this, then I don't see an issue with it as long as it's done peacefully. Then
so what would be
I don't.
what would be the determining factor of
They,
Islamophobia?
they,
Would someone like
they,
Sam be thrown in prison for his
Of
views?
it
Is
depends on
course,
what
that
he says. I will need to
of
listen to the guy
course.
closely.
He would
And
stone me to death. He wouldn't even need
I wouldn't
Sharia.
stone you.
If he
I
saw
wouldn't
me on
stone you to
Speaker's
death.
Corner,
I
if he
would
saw me
not
on
stone
Speaker's
you to
Corner, he
death.
would attack me
I
for
would
sure.
not waste my breath on you
Yeah, why
or
are you here then?
energy on
Why are you
you.
wasting your breath right now, though?
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
are you
yeah.
not
I'm here
allowing me to
because of
speak?
Jen.
Why are
I'm
you
here
not
because
allowing
of
me to
okay?
speak?
I
If
did
you're not
allow
gonna
you to
waste your
speak. You
breath,
were
then
telling me to go on mute.
why are you on the stage
Oh,
silence
all
me?
right,
You were telling
you
me
guys.
to go
Why
on
are you
mute.
on the
I
stage
allowed you to
Oh my
speak.
only
goodness,
to silence
guys,
me?
I
please,
allowed you
please.
to speak. You told me
Okay,
to go on mute.
all right,
Yeah,
you
and what did
guys.
you say when I said that?
I told you
Yeah,
to fuck off.
let's. Oh
Yeah,
my
exactly.
God. Okay, all right, you guys.
Yeah, sorry, man. My reception went a bit bad.
That's okay.
It went off a bit still.
Um,
It was cutting out. But
yeah. So it's only
yeah, sorry. I
like
was just saying to them, yeah, about the Sikhs, yeah. Sorry, Jen. I was saying to them about the Sikhs, yeah, that they're allowed to carry their knives here, but they're not allowed to use it or whatever. So it's like more just symbolic, isn't it? That's not really even a fair
No,
comparison
but
because they're not allowed.
but
Yeah.
They're
Veli,
not
they
allowed to
can
pull out
use it
if they pull. Wait, hold on. If they pull a knife on anyone and someone rings the police on them, they get nicked straight away. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, but Veli, if somebody attacks them, they're allowed to defend with the knife. So if you went for them and
yeah, but
attacked them,
even that
they
though, they
can
still
use it.
going. You still get nicked for that though.
No. This guy got attacked, and he had a curb on him, and
All I hear is
these
jealousy.
three
All I hear is
people attacked
jealousy.
him. He ended up killing all three of them, and he got away with it under
Nah,
self-defense.
that's only in some self-defense. That's some self-defense thing where they're trying to
No,
kill him, innit?
but the thing is, they've got
Bro,
the
listen.
option.
You see self-defense, yeah? But wait, hold on. You see self-defense, yeah? It's got to be within reason, innit? Yeah. So if his life was in danger, they was trying to kill him, and the only way of him being able to defend his life was killing them three. Then that's the only reason why he got away. It's not because he's a
Yeah,
Sikh with a
but
kippah.
Veli, he was in that position where he had a knife on him, so he was able to defend himself. And now you're not allowed to carry one. I'm not allowed to carry one. If someone come and try to kill me, I won't be as lucky as him because I won't have that knife to defend
Yeah,
me.
but even though you're not
Do
allowed
you
to carry a
understand?
knife, though, if you was in the same situation, you would most likely get the same outcome, innit? Like if it was you and the people was coming to attack you to try to kill you, and you had a knife
No,
on
but
you, that was
if
an
I'm not,
elite. Wait,
if
hold
I
on.
didn't have
Listen,
a
listen.
knife,
If you had an illegal knife on you, listen. You had an illegal knife on you, and your defense was strong enough to warrant having to kill the guys that's attacking you or whatever. Yeah, then you most likely get that self defense.
no, but you would have to
Yeah,
break the
but you
Mechanism as
know,
law
well.
to
we're
carry a
muddying the
knife
water.
to protect
Hold on.
yourself.
We're muddying the waters,
When
and I want to respond to
the
what
other one
Ghost said.
you'd be allowed to carry yourself. You're carrying one
Yeah,
all the time. You're strapped up.
you're
Like H
muddying the
says, he's
waters right
always
now.
strapped up. He's
We're
always
talking about
ready.
something
He's
different
always
now.
strapped.
Yeah, but he's just one kid in it, like
Yeah,
one
but
loony
No, but
bin in
guys,
it
we're
by
muddying.
itself.
I'm
I
not
want to
holding it
respond to
against
what
them.
Ghost was
I'm just
saying.
saying that different communities can
Hey,
get different
hello, Ghost.
things.
I'm talking. I want to respond
So
to what
what? Talk. All
Yeah,
right, go on,
let's
go
Sam
on.
have a
Talk.
go, bro.
All right, let's Sam have a go. Come on, before he
Yeah.
cries.
By the way, Jen, I thought you didn't have trolls on following you.
Yeah,
This
I
guy
know
triggered now.
he's no, so I've known Ghost for years, right? Like he's been around this stream for years. He's not really. He's just like when he hears Islamaphobe, he's gone at me. We've had arguments before. We've screamed
Mm.
each other down before. We've definitely gone at
Yeah,
it
we've been
many
messaging
many
each other,
times.
going at it, but we always have that respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Oh,
like, at least I can have like a discussion with him, but I knew this was going to be heated like right when he came in my chat. So I just like, we can have a good discussion. Let's just try to keep it like down like a little bit. But
Hey, look, I'm not even a Muslim, yeah, and I was on the panel like, bro, what are you talking about? So
Yeah, even Velicum, that's how
imagine what
pathetic
a
his
Muslim said.
argument was. That even Velicum and said, wait a minute, what's going on?
so here's the thing, right? This
Yeah,
is
bro.
not uncommon, and I think Sunny said it very well in the chat that now he's trying to dictate who and who you cannot have on your chat, right, or on your stage. This is very common. Ostracizing, demonizing, gaslighting. This is a very common trope. When Islam is exposed. But since we're talking about police brutality, I like to ask you two questions, Ghost. As Amini, was that police brutality? And in Morocco, not so known case, but the military police, in the name of the state, which essentially is Islamic, because the emir is the descendant of Muhammad, and it's a Muslim country by default because it's in the constitution. They went and raped the protesters for West Sahara. They not just raped the protesters, but their family members, their sisters, their nieces, their daughters, their grandmothers. And this was police doing it, right? Military police. So since we talk about police brutality, can you tell me, would you condemn that? Because it was in the
Condemn
name
what?
of Islam. The
No, no,
police
no, nothing.
brutality
It's not in the name of
of
Islam.
Moroccan
Stop
military
chatting shit.
police,
Stop
and
chatting shit.
and,
First
and
of
the
all,
and the police brutality from the police in Iran against
okay, first
Aslamini.
of all, I'm not going to condemn or condone anything that I've not researched, right?
Well, we can
And the
research it
second
right
thing is
now.
second. Wait,
Okay,
wait,
let's
wait. You've
research
had
it
your
right
say.
now.
I was quiet. You've had your say. You've
Let's
had your
research
say.
it right now.
No, no, no. I don't want to research it right now. First of all, yeah,
So you just come up
this
to
guy.
talk
No,
shit.
no. Let
You
me
just come up
finish.
to
Let me
talk without
finish.
without any
Let me
knowledge.
finish. You've had
Doesn't
your
Islam
say.
tell you to
Let me
speak with
finish.
knowledge?
Let me
offering you
finish.
knowledge right
Let
now.
me finish.
I'm offering
Okay.
you
Let me
knowledge.
finish. First of all,
Okay.
But
Let
by
me
the way,
yeah,
you didn't have much knowledge about the France riots as well, right?
I jumped on because I knew what was
What's
going
the
on.
guy's name? What's the guy's name who got
I
killed?
don't know. I need to know the guy's name. All I know is a 17-year-old that were killed in a
Yeah,
traffic stop by the
listen, yeah,
police,
yeah. What's his
and the
name though?
police never
Since you
needed
have
to kill him.
such a connection
No, no, no,
to him,
no, 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 no,
you
no,
have
Okay.
no,
such a
So
no.
great connection to
You're
him. What's his
no, no.
name?
You're just trying to. You're not letting me finish. Yeah.
No, no, no. You say
You you're
you
not
have
letting me
no. You
finish.
say
And
you
if
don't
you
want
want
to
to
talk
play
without
this game,
knowledge, and you don't even know
this
the
game. I'm
guy's
a
name who
veteran
got
at this
killed.
game, and we
all
can
right,
play
all
this
right, all right.
game
You
till
guys, you
the
guys.
cows
No,
come
no,
home.
no,
What
no, no.
what
That's
We're
not
not
an
game?
issue
playing
for
this
What
me.
game.
game? You get
That's
angry
not an
because
issue for
Islam is
me.
No,
exposed.
no, 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 no.
Hey,
We're not
guys,
playing.
come on,
We're
man.
not playing games. Like, well,
You
let's
just get
go.
mad because I
Please.
got exposed his bias.
Well, everybody has their bias, right?
Yeah, and
I have my
his
bias.
bias is called Islam. That's it.
Yeah,
He doesn't
exactly.
even
He's
know
a
the guy
Muslim,
who got killed. Doesn't even know the name of the guy who got killed. I do,
right?
right?
Uh
Right?
huh.
I
I
just
know.
researched it, and I told him we can research it right now. We can
Okay.
research what happened in Morocco. We can research what happened to Asamini, right?
Hmm.
This is police brutality. So
Of
why
course,
not talk
People
and
about
riot
it?
I
in different
ran
countries
I
on what
ran
they can
this
get away with.
right, and
You made
because
your
of
points, but when it comes to making my point, you interrupted and you started an argument.
okay,
When
so
I just gave you my answer,
in the case
Yeah,
of
you're talking out of
Masa Amini,
ignorance. That's what you're doing.
in the case of Masa Amini, if I'm not mistaken, Iran is still burning because of that till this day. I believe they're still in riots. I believe they're still burning down the country. They're still killing protesters. They're still committing mass human rights violations, and the world is largely silent. I think that needs to be like, why is the world largely silent on this issue, right? Why are people willing to let that go, but they're not willing to look past one guy being, one kid being murdered by police, but they're willing to look past this one woman being murdered by police. So there's we could go back and forth and back and forth, um, what is this, what is that, I
yeah,
just
I
don't
agree,
feel
Jen. I
like
agree. People do. It's like if this was what country did that happen in? Sorry, that girl that got killed. What you say? What country is that?
Iran by the the mullahs, they or the morality
They're
police
not real
killed the
Muslims.
girl.
That's he's gonna say they're not real Muslims. They're Shia. That's what
Well,
he's gonna
well,
say.
well,
No,
maybe,
whether they're
like,
Muslims or not, obviously killing
but they,
protesters, killing people legally is wrong. But you got to remember that certain countries are dictatorships, and in dictatorships,
Well,
this
they're
look
following the
what's happening.
Sharia.
but that
They're
doesn't
following the
make
No,
it
no,
Sharia.
no,
right, though. That doesn't
it
make it
doesn't make it
right.
right. But
She
what I'm
shouldn't
saying
be.
is,
She shouldn't
people,
have been killed because of her hijab being wrong, right? Like, that's
of course
wrong.
not, yeah, no, no, yeah, she should not have been killed for not wearing a hijab. But if she broke the law, she should have just been
If she
prosecuted
wore
the
it,
way
it
anybody
wasn't
else.
worn properly. That was the thing. And then they tried
No,
to
no,
deny
but
that
what are the
they
law?
killed
No,
her.
Jen, what is the law in Iran if you don't wear it properly?
I don't know. Is death the punishment?
No, 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 no. I'm not saying that. I'm saying whatever the law is probably a fine, whatever it
No,
is, that
no,
should
no,
have
no.
been applied. But
The
it
police
doesn't
will
justify
encourage you.
killing
No,
her.
stop, stop, stop. The police will
There
No, no,
wouldn't
encourage
have
no,
you.
been
no.
none of
Why
them
should I
problems
stop?
if Mossadegh was still
The
in power.
police. No, no. Wait. The police will encourage you with any means that they can muster to wear it properly. And this is what
So
they
why don't you
did
go
with
there and
Asa
protest?
Amini,
Yeah, go over there and
and they beat
protest.
her to death. This is what they did. They had enemy the violence at their disposal, and they by any means at their disposal, meaning any violence
Mm.
they can muster, to make sure that Asa Amini will comply with the law, right? They can force it upon you, and this
No,
is
but
what
what is
happened.
the law in Iran for not wearing a hijab? What is the legal law? What does it
Yeah,
say?
that's the legal law that the police has the legal means to force you to wear it properly.
No, but do they have the means to kill you over it?
By any means, if she dies, then that's her fault.
I don't think so. You're right.
Damn,
Then
you
yeah,
could have
Yeah,
let him
no,
out,
man.
man.
it's
You
I
her
think
fault
fucking
if she
prick.
died because the police
Hmm?
they
Sorry.
deemed it necessary violence against her, right? just like
No, but
the
you had
cops,
worldwide protests over
just
that,
like the
didn't
cop.
you?
Hold on.
You had
Just like the cops of
worldwide
France
protests over that, didn't you?
deemed the violence against Nahil to be necessary in the traffic stop. Now, there's mass riots from
All
Muslims,
right. So do
right,
you agree with that? What the police
against
did?
Islamophobia. But in Iran, it was actually the other way around, because the Iranian people were fighting the Iranian dictatorial Islamic regime that
Hmm.
enforced hijab in the first place.
No, I
Mhm.
don't think so. That's right. But yeah,
Yeah,
what
that's why they
is
should have Mosul deck. That's why the CIA and them killed Mosul deck guys, because it was a liberal country in it, and they would have legalized their. But do you know what? Forget about that, man. It's going to a whole different story in it. But yeah, I agree
what
with
are you
your
saying,
point though.
Vali?
Still, you should. Yeah, the police shouldn't have killed that lady either. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they
And the
should not
people
kill
them
her. No way.
that don't
She
want
should not
to
be being
wear
killed.
hijab should be free not to wear their hijabs.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
like,
I think it
it's
comes
kind
down
of
to
sticky
choice,
still.
and I'm a pro-believer of that. It's her choice. You know, she should not be killed over it. So yeah, that is definitely something that I would condemn, because I did hear about that, and there was protests here in England over that too. So I
Mhm.
don't see protests over this kid getting killed by police brutality in England.
There were
Yeah,
I
protests
just
in
that
said
was just
England
yesterday though,
from
man.
ex-Muslims. From ex-Muslims, there were protests
maybe
against
it'll
Muslims.
go
That
down. But yeah,
it's gonna take.
I think they should continue to riot in France and bring them to its knees, if you ask her.
Why?
Thank you, thank you.
Why?
No, 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 no. Thank you for admitting that. Thank you.
But Ghost,
So,
that's
so,
the
so,
thing
so
that
he actually
you're
proving my
bring
you're
point.
France,
saying.
He's
bring
You're,
proving. No, no.
France
He's
to
proving
his
my
knees,
point. He's proving my point
why
bring
though?
now.
France
No, I
to
know, I
his
know.
knees.
Let me
No, no,
finish
no,
this
no.
out.
Jen, let him continue because he's proving my point that this
Yeah,
has
this
to
is
do with
Yeah, you
Islam.
crazy.
prove.
But Ghost, why would you want the violence and destruction and burning? Why would you want that to happen?
I want it to happen because a kid got killed. Until there's justice, then stuff like this can happen. And then France are cunts anyway. I don't like France. So yeah, who gives a
Why
shit?
But
don't you like France?
hmm,
I don't like France.
Why?
I just don't
Bro,
like them.
what are you doing,
What are
man?
you going to
Why?
choose?
You're mad, man.
I
Why?
don't like France. You got a
yeah.
Why?
problem with that? You got a
No, tell
problem.
me
I
why
don't
though.
like
Tell me.
France.
I know the reason. I want you to say it though. Tell me why.
Most British people don't like French or
No,
France.
tell me.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't
tell me
say
why though.
French, because then
Yeah,
you're going
but I'm
against the
sure the
people.
British people don't like France because of different reasons. Why don't you like France?
I've got my reasons. I don't need to
Tell
tell
me.
you.
Well, tell me.
I don't need to tell you.
Come
I got my
on.
reasons. I don't like France.
Why are you on a
So if
panel
But
if
to
these
Ghost,
discuss
if
but
these
ideas
don't
if
you
you can
think
these
that
prove
the
the
writers
French
reason?
bring it to
people?
his knees, then
Right.
yeah,
That's
let
terrible.
France burn.
No,
France
that's
should burn.
terrible. I don't know. See, and this is where like I don't agree with you because in so you're saying that violence should be the way to subvert French democracy, and that's wrong. Like that's
Well,
encouraging.
democracy got to do with it. I never mentioned democracy.
No, but I'm saying violence and all this rioting
I
and burning
mentioned
stuff down.
police brutality, not democracy. Jen, come on, don't
I
try
think
to
he's mad
Yeah, but
because
this
stick.
is
France vote. You know,
so
no,
what
Jen,
justice
Jen.
would
You know
be
why he's
what
mad?
justice
You know why he's
mm,
mad? Because France won over Morocco, the one nation that will bring the Ummah, the Islamic
See
supremacy
that he links in
in
link
the
to
World Cup.
Islam. This guy is
France,
obsessed.
the
This
number one
guy is
kuffar
obsessed.
nation,
He can't help
the
himself. He
number one
can't help
kuffar
himself.
nation beat them in
He
the
is
World Cup.
so entangled. He'll bring
Ghost, you can't even
everything
say
to
why you don't
Islam.
like France. Why don't you like France?
Everything
You
to
can't even say, well, you're
Islam.
on a speakers
This
panel
guy
to
will
discuss
bring
ideas, and you
everything to
can't
Islam.
even
He's
say
just
why you don't like
obsessed. He's
France.
just obsessed.
but
Tell me why you don't like France, man.
that's why
Come
I
on.
have him on the show. So I understand that certain Muslims are unhappy with the treatment of some Muslims in France, right? And I can understand that. But at the same time, I also can understand the position of the French people to preserve their cultures and social norms, right? And I think that every European country has the
Was it
right.
wrong? Was it wrong
No, but Jen, you're sitting in
was it wrong for
America.
some
Yeah, that's
opinions?
why I
Was
That
it
said
wrong?
European. That's why I said European countries. It doesn't
Jen,
no,
work
but
over
what
Jen,
I'm
here.
saying is,
you asking me
Doesn't
the
you're
wrong
work over
question
here.
yourself.
though.
The Native
Was it
Americans
wrong?
got
Was it
killed
wrong for
off in
Samuel Paty to be
America.
beheaded?
Each and every
Yes,
one got killed off,
right.
brutally
And
killed.
Was it
And
wrong
now
for Samuel
them
Paty
lot
to
want to
be
preserve
beheaded?
okay,
America.
I can't. No, 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 no. One second.
Was it
Let me
wrong
make
for
my.
Samuel Paty to be beheaded?
Of course. Let me just
No,
explain
no, no. I'm asking Ghost.
All
I'm
right. I
asking
want to
Ghost. Was it
explain
I
my
wrong?
don't know who you're on
position.
about.
I want to explain my position to him. Right. Come to America. I agree with you, right? We do not have the right to enforce and uphold like our European or whatever white kind of culture in this land because it's not our land, right? We're not indigenous to this land. So it doesn't like true ethno nationalism doesn't really work in America unless you are indigenous American, right? All the Indian tribes, they
Okay.
have that right, but we don't really have that right. But when it comes to Europe and places, okay, even like let's say
Like what?
Afghanistan, other places, I think Russia, China, you know,
No, but
they
Jen,
have
you're
the
making.
right. No, let me just finish. Let me finish,
All right. Then
please.
I'm coming in,
So
Jen. Then I'm coming in. All right,
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
finish, then
Cool,
I'll
cool,
come in.
cool. Okay, so I believe that these countries where they have indigenous populations have the right to preserve their social norms and culture and heritage, 100%. So if people, immigrants, are coming into these lands trying to subvert their culture or social norms, I think that, and I believe that they have the right to resist colonization, right? That's what I believe.
Okay, Jen. First of all, yeah, when you're looking at Afghanistan, they didn't go invading other countries. If you look at the European history, they historically have gone to countries, taken it over,
The
colonized it.
Taliban
In
helped.
Tunisia, oh,
The
look at this
Taliban
guy's
helped
interrupting.
One
Yeah, let
second,
me
Afghanistan.
one
finish.
second,
Then
no,
you could.
one second, Sim, because he's wrong. Afghanistan did invade countries. If you go back,
All right,
this is why Afghanistan is largely Muslim now, not Buddhist anymore. So places like
okay.
did invade and conquer. They did, 100%.
Which country? But
Afghanistan
we'll come back to
itself.
let's come back to that. Yeah, we'll come back to that.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
French have a history of going around colonizing people. In Tunisia, they speak French. They drive, they have certain things that they've colonized. And now the same people are complaining, oh, people are coming over, changing our culture, changing our this, that. If your culture is strong enough and the belief is strong and the will of the people is strong, it will stand everything. Only weak cultures get taken over and destroyed. If the cultures are strong, most likely the immigrants and their descendants that come from them will be part of your culture. But if your culture is shit and weak, then they will use their own culture. It's a mixture of stuff. And now, I find it just hypocritical when these people have all their history is brutality, killing people. These people here are not really coming and killing people en masse and doing all this sort of stuff. Yeah,
Are they
there might be
not?
some criminals in it and commit crimes, but it's nothing compared to what was done back in time by the same people now saying, oh, we want to preserve our stuff. Fuck off.
I mean, I understand your point, but that's
Yeah, but he dodged my question,
the
Jen. You
difference,
didn't
I
allow
guess,
me to
between
ask you.
hard colonization
You
and
didn't.
soft
Hold on, Jen.
colonization.
You didn't. You
Yeah, go
didn't
ahead,
allow me
Sam.
to.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Was the beheading of Samuel Paty wrong?
Who is he asking?
I
You,
think he's asking you, bro.
Who's that guy, man? You mention
Samuel
random names
Paty.
to me. They don't mean shit.
You don't know Samuel Paty?
No.
Okay, so Samuel Paty was the teacher who portrayed the Charlie Hebdo cartoons in his classroom, and he, just like Jen here, put on a disclaimer saying that viewer discretion be advised, sensitive students be advised, leave if you have to. And yet, a student of his class went and told her uncle or something like that, and the next day he came and beheaded him because of blasphemy against Muhammad. Was that wrong?
Well, I wouldn't have killed him. No, I would not kill him.
That's not what I'm asking. Was it wrong?
I'm not gonna condemn other people, but what I'm
There
saying
we
is
go. There we
that I
go.
would not have,
There
I
we
would
go.
not,
He's talking
I
about
would
riots
not
and
have
police
done that.
No,
brutality
I
and
would not
no,
have
killing
no.
done that.
other people being wrong, and Islam has nothing to do
We
with
don't
these
know the
riots,
motive
right?
for killing. That's what you
Even
Islamophobes will
even
link
though
it
he
to.
doesn't want to tell us
But
why
That's
he
but
what
was
you
he
wrong,
was
Fran,
Islamophobe
no, but he's
will
and
link it
then he
to.
won't condemn the
This
assassination
is
of
what you
Samuel
do.
Paty.
okay. All right.
You're
Was
But
linking
it
it.
wrong
the
to
We don't
kill
even
Charlie
know. We
Hebdo?
don't even
oh
know if
my
he got
god.
Was
killed
it
over
wrong
that
to kill
cartoon
Charlie
or
Hebdo?
What
something
do
else
you
he
mean?
did.
Of course, it was clear why he got killed.
Jen,
Because the intention was clear. The beheading was clear.
Why
Yeah.
did the guys that killed him say we killed you because of this?
Why? Oh my god. All
yeah,
right.
yeah. I swear they wrote a letter before something we're gonna use
Yeah.
it.
Did
But
they? I
I've
don't
got to
know.
jump off though,
I'm
Jen.
not
Yeah.
sure.
Sure. All right,
Hey,
Belly.
You
Thank
know.
you
sorry. Yeah.
so
Big
much
up,
for
Ghost.
coming
Big
through,
up yourself,
man.
Sam. Yeah, yeah.
All
All
right.
right. Say
Yeah,
nothing, bro.
nice
Great man.
meeting you, G Block.
Yeah, nice meeting you, bro. Say nothing, bro.
Let's hope we can have more discussions in the future.
Yeah, yeah. No problem, bro.
Sorry you met me at the worst, but yeah.
It's,
I
But
it's
wanted
alright,
to
bro. Don't
I
worry,
wanted to
man.
tell you, if I'm deemed to be
You
right
caught him out lying,
about
Belly
this
man. The guy was
one
riots,
just
second.
using
One.
his
Let
Yeah, if
propaganda.
you're deemed to be right,
yeah,
bro.
you're
The
gonna
next time
let
I
me
call me
speak
just
to
the
you, I'll
next
tell you
finish
you're
prophet
up
right.
of
so Belly could
Islam.
leave.
You're gonna call me the next prophet of Islam, okay?
Yeah, yeah. All
All
right.
right, all right.
He's
Oh my
trying to trigger
god.
me,
All
but
right.
it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. And
Yeah.
All
you
right.
know
Don't
See you
what?
later,
worry.
man.
You know the
Hey,
outcome
peace,
of this,
everyone.
Jen. You know what's
All
Hey,
gonna
right.
big up,
Big
hit,
happen?
up,
hit the
Belly,
like button
When
and
man.
when
share
they
the
Thank
play
stream.
you.
Do
me,
that, yeah.
if
One
anybody
second.
goes
Peace.
down to my
Take care,
Islamic and
Belly.
says
Thank
prophet,
you.
then I'm gonna launch it full hole, and I don't give a shit. Then
And
it's gonna.
I explained to him and I asked him please not to do any direct hits, for the sake of my channel. So yeah, we'll try to keep it, the insults at a minimum. It doesn't have anything to really do with the conversation. But Ghost, I'm a little disappointed in your views, man, and I'm sure you're disappointed in our views too, and that's fine. And
Why are
we've
you
always
disappointed in
disagreed
my views?
because like when you say like, oh, France should burn and this and
Yeah, France should.
that, like that's so
Them
wrong. Like
writers need to
you're
bring
asking
France
for
to his
people, you're
knees.
asking for suffering, you're asking, but that's not the way to do it, right? I mean, a violent overthrow is not like, what about that? There's innocent people who are being, victimized in the middle of
Yeah, but
this.
Jen,
Is
what
it's
about
not the
your
way to
country,
do it.
America, that has been in war for more than its existence? But you still big up America, don't you?
I
When you know
mean,
that they are brutal killers. That's all they've done. They've caused massive issues in every country they've been, and it's been
right.
deliberately done. But you still big up America, don't you?
I mean, bigging up America
Yeah,
and bigging
exactly,
up the
Jen. Just
system.
because I'm being honest and I'm saying it away, and you guys are saying, yeah, but you big up a country that all it's done is war and trying to, colonize people, kill people. That's all is done,
But I
America.
don't think it should burn because of that. Like, I don't think it
Well,
deserves to
I wouldn't give a
burn.
shit about a country like that because that's all they've done.
But what country is free from that? What country hasn't done that?
I don't think so. Most countries have done as worse as America and some of
Probably not.
Europe.
They probably haven't, right? And there's many Americans like myself who oppose the expansionist
Yeah, but you
kind
still
of.
big up America, don't you?
Well, that this is my home.
Exactly, because that's your belief. Even though they're going around killing people, raping people, children, it doesn't matter what it is. They're doing all that, but you're still bigging them up
That's called
because
But
it's
I
your
don't
projection.
country.
What
believe.
you're
But
doing right now is called
if
projection.
I say France should be brought to his
Ghost, what
knees,
you're doing right
then
now
that's
is
a
called
bad
projection.
thing. That's a
Hold on.
bad thing.
Because I don't
What you're
That's a
believe
doing right
bad
now is
America.
thing.
I
called
don't believe
projection. It's projection.
That's a bad thing.
believe
You're doing
innocent Americans
projection.
should burn because of sins of their fathers. Go
I
ahead.
never said any
Jen,
innocent people should burn.
can I
I
chime
said
in
France should burn, not the
without him
people.
speaking over me?
Not the
Yeah, but
people.
that includes
No, no,
everyone
not
in
the people, Jen.
France.
Don't try to put something on me that I did not say.
No, no, but
I
Can I
said,
chime in, Jen, without him speaking over me?
yeah, sure. Go ahead. Go ahead.
What Ghost is doing right now is called projection, right? So when America, France, and all other democracies are doing something that's bad, essentially there's a discussion about it. Essentially there is law against that. Essentially there will be fine one way or another. Essentially people will say, hey, I don't support it under the rule, even if I'm a citizen, and they're free to do so. However, what Ghost is saying that is Well, if people do it in America, they're going around raping people, doing bad stuff to people, killing people, nothing is done about it. Well, if you look at the Islamic countries, right, he wouldn't even condemn the assassination of Samuel Paty. He wouldn't condemn the assassination of Charlie Hebdo or any other terrorist attacks, right? Uh, in the Islamic world, when these things happens, he have an excuse for it. He would never say, "Well, it's wrong." No, so it's projection because essentially he's putting all the blames of Islam onto the non-Islamic world, right?
Have
And
you have you
if
finished?
he was actually honest,
No, 1 second. He's not done.
if he was actually honest, then he would start with actually putting the blame where he's most comfortable with, which is his hometown, where people are dying and people are killing each other because blasphemy and shit like that, and people being raped because of Islam and getting away with it because it's allowed in Islam. That would be his main focus. But since he's a hypocrite and want to project, he's projecting it to the West.
Okay. First of all, this guy doesn't even know I'm from Manchester, England. Yeah. Just put three down the
I'm
Sharia.
pretty
Yeah, yeah,
sure
yeah.
you're a
Let me
Pakistani
finish.
native.
I'll let you finish.
I'm
Yeah, I'll
pretty
let you
sure
finish.
you have such
I'll let you
a east
finish. I'll let you
deep
finish.
East London
Ye-
accent that I'm sure you're Pakistani.
It's definitely northern. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Please, Ghost.
But yeah, this guy is just mad. Yeah. First of all, Jen has always had a saying that she doesn't expect people to condemn or condone other people's actions. So I don't know why this guy was asking me to condemn or condone anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not
because
real
I've
big
never
on
asked.
the.
Because you
I'm not
Yeah,
real big on the
believe
I've
in
never
Islam.
asked
condone
Because you
things.
believe in
anyone
Muhammad.
in. I never asked anybody in this
Your deen
conversation
is
to
essential to
condemn
you.
or condone anything. I've just challenged views. Yeah, you're just
Yeah,
making these pathetic links.
but you don't
Yeah,
even
you're
want to
just
say
look.
why
You're
you don't like
interrupting again. Yeah,
France.
I'll let you
But you don't
finish,
even want to
but
give
you
us the
like to
reasons why
interrupt.
you don't like France. You don't
Yeah,
even want to give us the
I'll let
reasons
you
why you don't like
finish. I
France.
gave you the reasons, but you just not clever enough to listen to them.
You
I
didn't.
did. I
No,
did. I
you
gave you
didn't.
the
No, you
reasons. I
didn't.
told you how the
No, you
French went
didn't.
around trying to colonize people. I gave you the reasons of Tunisians speaking French, but you're just not listening. Yeah, because
So
you're
does
just
that? So 1 second. So something you said earlier, right? So does that apply to Algeria and Tunisia as well? So if their culture was so weak that it was allowed to be taken over by the French, doesn't that
no,
apply
but
to
they were
that as
taken over
well?
by armies. They were taken over by armies, Jen.
Yeah, but
This is invading
well, is
armies.
might right?
If
Is might
no no
right?
if yeah no, but I believe it. If just say for example Tunisia, let's just use it, flip it. Yeah, if then thousands of migrants were going into Tunisia and the culture started changing and the French culture overpowered the Tunisian culture and come, then I would call that culture weak. Your culture
I don't
would
think
not.
it.
It was too weak
I don't
to
think it's so
withstand that.
much.
But invading armies went there by gunpoint and took over and changed stuff. That's different. This is people having it. End of the day, if your culture is strong enough, it'll withstand natural migration.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
and
but that's
if
different though because think about what you're saying, like natural migration, right? And it's not about whose culture is the strongest at that point. It's a numbers game. So
what do you
if
mean
you're
numbers?
dude,
It's like
if
the
you have a
French.
million country, if you have a million people in your city and 4 million new people come into your city, those 4 million are going to outdo the million, right? They're going
No,
to. It doesn't matter how strong the culture of the
no,
million is.
Jen.
It's a numbers game.
No, Jen, if it was the numbers, I would agree with you, but it's not. Most times, people are complaining about minorities' culture being more obviously overpowering. And when you do the research, then minority communities are still minority, but just that the culture and the community cohesion is really strong, so that overpowers the existing culture. It's just that these people stick together and their way of doing things is different and it's more unified than
But
maybe the
it's
existing culture. But
expansionist at the same
but
time. You're
I
actively
do not
trying to
feel sympathy.
expand.
I do not feel sympathy for anybody that complains, "Oh, our culture is getting." If you want to do it, then yeah, you have every right to preserve what you've got. As long as you do it in a peaceful way and you don't try to kill people, you don't try to deport people, you don't try to do stuff like that, then I got no issues with it. Yeah, give more education classes to your oncoming generations. Make sure that they embroider it in their culture. Do more as a community, and that way, a lot of times we see it that half the time these people don't even know their history. They don't know anything. I don't know much history either. But what I'm saying is,
Well, it's
culturally, they're
clear you
not.
don't know
They
much
don't. They
history
don't give
because
a
you're
shit.
speaking out of ignorance.
They don't give a shit. And then they say, "Oh, this culture is taking over." When they see a group of people show more togetherness and they're more unified, and then they
Yeah, but you
complain.
gotta understand that even if colonization is bad, doesn't mean Islam is good. That's the main point, right? Because
Look, back to
Islam,
Islam, man. I'm not talking about Islam.
yeah, but
Just fucking
that's
relax, man.
that's the
Can
main
you go
point
to
because
bed?
you're a
Can you
Muslim
go
and
to
you're
bed
studying
without thinking of
Sharia.
Islam at night?
No,
Can
but
you
you're
go to
studying
bed?
Sharia and you're
Can you
trying
go?
to
No.
project
Can you go
everything
to
bad
bed at night?
to
Can you
non-Islamic.
go to bed at night without thinking about Islam? Can you go to bed at night
No, no,
without
no,
talking?
no, because my main issue is with Islam because you try to sugarcoat
See that
Islam all the time.
this guy disobeyed it. He
You
can't
try to
even go to
deviate the
bed.
topic out of
He
Islam,
can't
even
even
though
go to
it's a
bed
common tactic.
without thinking
It's a
about
common
Islam.
tactic. You want to talk about everything else but Islam, right? My main issue
Yeah, but
is
I don't
Islam,
need to
and
talk about it. If I want
the
to talk
reason for
about Islam,
no, no,
I
stop
would go
shouting
on
at my
Dawa
ears. Stop
channels
shouting in my
and I'll
ears.
talk about it
Hey,
there. I
stop
don't
shouting
talk
in my
about.
ears. Stop
I
shouting in my
talk.
ears. Jim
I talk
Wallace,
about
are you gonna
Muslims,
do this?
and
Because I'm
when
getting
people
tired of
be
this guy.
All
anti-Muslim,
right, please go one by
I
one. Please, we can't
Yeah.
hear. Nobody can
look,
hear
Jen. This
anything.
guy interrupts me all the time. Then he
Yeah.
cries. Yeah, when I go on one,
No,
he interrupts
Okay.
all the
I'm
All right.
sorry,
time.
but
Well,
So
this
when I
was
let's
a
start
shut
discussion
down
talking,
with
this
he's
me,
like,
place.
"Oh,
All
not
right.
you.
Jen,
Adi.
what's happening,
Okay.
Yeah,
Jen?
Okay.
Better
Ghost.
Oh
This
control
was
my
a
him, Jen.
goodness.
discussion with
All
me,
right.
Oh,
All
not
right. All
fucking
you.
right. All
control
right.
Right?
him."
You're a guest.
Yo, listen. 1 second. All right. Ek second, yeah. Ek second, yeah.
Just mute this guy.
No tamasha, yeah. Let's
See
stop
that?
with the.
He's fucking
Let's stop
controlling
with
Just
the
again.
mute
bakwas.
Jen.
Prick.
This
Let's
was
stop
supposed to
with the
be a discussion with
bakwas.
me, not him, right? So mute this guy so he doesn't speak over me. He wants to
Okay.
talk about everything else but
Look at this
Islam.
guy. Is so sensitive, man.
Okay.
Fuck's
All right.
sake.
All right.
Says the
I'm gonna
guy who
have.
come up
Okay.
to the show tried to silence an Islamophobe because he's angry that
No,
Islam
I
is
come to
being
challenge
exposed.
you. I didn't
Yeah,
Okay.
come
you
to
Well,
didn't. You
let's
didn't
silence
come
you.
to
challenge.
challenge
Let's
me because
challenge
now you're talking with
civilly. Let's
Jen,
challenge
right?
civilly.
No,
You're
no,
Let's
but
talking
this
to
challenge
guy
people.
always
civilly.
You
interrupts
want to
me,
challenge
Jen.
me?
He
Let's
always
talk.
interrupts
Oh
You
me.
my
want to have a debate?
goodness.
Let's have a
And then he
debate.
fucking complains. Then
You
he
want to have a
fucking
debate?
cries.
Let's
Yeah,
have
when
a
I
debate.
fucking
But you're
go
not
on
even
one.
talking to
No,
me
no,
right now. You're talking to
you
Jen.
fucking interrupted.
All right. All right. I
Thank you.
have to. All right. Please. Please. Okay. I understand this is a heated topic. All right. I'm asking you guys, please, for the last time, to please go one by one.
Is this
Ghost,
a discussion with me or is this a discussion with Ghost? Is
well,
my
this
question.
is why. No, I understand. I understand. So, I mean, if you want to go back, I'll remove everyone from the panel and we could just go back. It's actually
No, but because
11,
he's on
12.
the
It's going
panel
on
to
two and a half
distract.
hours.
No, no, he's on the panel to
Mm.
distract and not talk about Islam. He's talking about everything else but Islam, right? So the thing is here, he would condemn the colonial, post-colonial countries out there for their white supremacy, but he has no problem in implementing Sharia and colonizing the world in the name of Islam. That's double standards, and the way he does it is to not talk about Islam, not giving the points about why Islam is good or bad, but talk about France and why he doesn't like France. He said that he gave me the reasons. The reason I heard was, well, France colonized North Africa. Yeah, but guess what? Islam colonized North Africa before France ever set foot there, and
Mm.
they tried to enslave France, Spain, and most of the coastal part of southern Europe long
Hmm.
before Napoleon ever set foot have been born. So you have a lot to answer for since you are a Muslim and you advocate for
That's a
these
good
things.
point, to be honest. Okay, now let's hear what he's got to say. Well, that was a
I,
good point, to be fair, Ghost, don't you think?
I don't even know what he's on about. I didn't really
Okay,
listen much
see,
yet,
all
and
right,
I
so
don't
then
really
I'll
take this guy's.
all
So
right,
you
But
you come up
let me
here.
I'll
just.
summarize it.
So
I'll summarize it. No, well, let's
no,
just.
whoa, one
No, I
second,
want
Jen.
to hold him to the point. I don't want to. I
Yeah,
don't
but
want to.
Look, now
you
he's
see, no, you
interrupting.
don't
Yeah,
see what he's doing though. He's saying that whatever I say, doesn't matter to him because he doesn't want to listen to me. So why is he on the panel when it's supposed to be talking with me?
Right.
Why
So
is he
that's what
here
I'm
disrupting and
exactly. So that's
interrupting and muddying the
What the
waters?
hell, man?
okay.
This is an open panel. The link was there. I clicked it.
Yeah, yeah,
I
to
don't know why you
discuss
get
with
so
me.
butthurt.
Yeah, to
Okay.
discuss
All
Now
with
right.
me,
I gave you the
not
freedom to
ignore
talk
me.
and
Yeah,
finish.
yeah.
But soon
What
as
you
I
want to
started
do is
talking,
ignore
Jen,
me
he interrupted
and
again. Why don't you
demonize
mute
me
him? Why don't you
in
mute
front
him
of
like you
me.
muted me fucking
I
several
did.
times?
I muted everybody. I muted both of you at the same time. Okay, so now listen, stop. Both of you. Okay, right. Ghost. Yeah. Colonization. You made a point that you don't like France because they have colonized Africa, the North Africa, right? But the point is that prior to French colonization, there was Islamic expansion and colonization of the same areas. Do you also oppose that colonization? Yes or no? And what would be your reasons for
All right. First
supporting
of
or
all,
opposing that?
I don't need to oppose anything. Yeah. First of all, what I'm saying is, yeah, that the reason
Honestly, this guy
why
is a waste of
I
time, Jen.
look, he's
This guy is a
interrupting
waste.
Well,
again.
well,
He
let's
He's
he
let's
interrupt. He's
no, no,
interrupting
seriously, this guy is a
again.
waste of time. He never answers any question directly.
all right.
He's
Well,
It's
interrupting
just like
again.
Clubhouse.
let's give him the. Okay.
Jen,
All
this
right.
is like Clubhouse all over again, right? If he's not gonna answer
This
questions
All right.
guy
directly, then
fucking
what's the point
interrupts
of
me.
having him on
Yeah.
the stage?
Ghost,
Whenever
please,
I
please.
talk, he just gets triggered and he
Okay.
starts interrupting
You
me.
guys are. All right. You're both.
That's all he's
You're
fucking
getting to.
done.
Okay. So please. So you don't feel like you have to oppose a colonization all around. You just oppose white colonization.
No, I can choose what I oppose. Yeah.
Right.
Like
Right.
anybody can choose
Okay.
what they can be outraged about.
And
People be
that's why I
outraged
call you
about
a
statues.
hypocrite. And that's why you're a
It
hypocrite.
I
is.
don't care if you.
That's
Everybody's a
why you're a
hypocrite.
hypocrite.
Hypocritical. That is a
That's why
little
you're a
Yeah,
hypocrite.
hypocritical. So
everybody's
you're
a hypocrite at times.
oppose.
Yeah. First of all, yeah, if those that went, I first of all said that if they went around and this, that, the other, then they come back on them, then I don't really have sympathy. If there is countries that are claiming to be Muslim that went around and colonized people by gunpoint and took armies in
You
there
mean
and did what they did,
like
then
the
look,
Rashidun,
he's
like the
interrupting again.
Umayyads,
I'm trying to
Okay,
make a point,
like the
yeah.
Umayyads
But
please allow him to finish, and then I
no,
think
no,
I'm
Jen.
gonna.
Then you
I think
say, yeah, your show gets destroyed. I have given this guy so many chances to finish, but he gets triggered by me. Yeah, I don't know why
okay.
he's
Let's
so
just.
triggered.
All right, let's try to stay with the point. Colonization, yeah. And then I think
Yeah,
well, I
it's
gotta
been
tell
two
you
and a
why.
half
yeah.
hours.
I
No,
gotta
no,
tell you
no,
why
no,
I'm
no.
triggered. I gotta tell you why I'm triggered because
Yeah, God, God.
you're
All right,
never
let's listen
addressing
to him.
me.
Why he's triggered?
Because I'm
Let's
Okay,
listen to
addressing
him. Why
you.
I'm triggered.
No,
please
no, no.
let's
I'm
listen. Please
addressing
let's
you
listen to each
directly. You
other.
never address me, right? You're addressing Jen. It's like you don't want me. You don't even want to recognize that I'm on the show because you try to ostracize me from the show. A common tactic for Muslims when Islam is exposed, and this is why I get triggered. So if you want to address me, if you have a debate, then go ahead, but address me. Don't play games.
Like I was saying, Jen. Yeah, if people went
And
around
you see,
at
this is exactly
gunpoint,
what I'm talking about. This is
if
exactly what I'm talking
if
about.
people went
Okay,
around,
let's all right.
uh,
Let's just hear him out, please. And then
yeah.
I think we're
So
gonna
if
cut it
people
soon.
went around, just say, for example, if Algeria went around at gunpoint, uh, you know, colonizing certain countries and by gun and changing the laws and making them speak their language,
Did
and
they not
then
though? Did they
no, no,
not?
wait.
That's
I'm
what they
just saying.
did.
Let me
Okay.
finish, Jen. Let me
All
finish.
right.
Calm
Sorry.
down.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and then a bunch of immigrants come up, and then their culture started overriding the existing culture. Remember, keyword here is
Well,
immigrants,
so the
not by
prime
war,
culture was
not by
Arabic.
war. And then
Okay, please let him
immigrants come
finish. Please
over,
Was
let him
Arabic.
finish,
and
please.
fucking hell, this guy.
All right, just finish the point, please. Oh yeah.
Finally,
Okay.
it was impossible to have a conversation with this guy.
Well, I
But
mean, I think that was a good point, and that's exactly what happened to Africa. If you look at the prominent language in the north of Africa, it's Arabic, right? The Arab League. The
yeah,
Arabs did invade that part. They did get colonized. So was France a retaliation or somehow their karma for their prior colonization? I mean, we could go back and forth with the colonization, but at the end of the day, my sentiment for let's say Algeria, the indigenous, what are those people, like Berber or whatever, they had the right to resist Islamic colonization.
Yeah.
Bottom
Well,
line.
the thing is, France left North Africa. They left it and they said we should not colonize, right? They tried to reinvent their image. So did a lot of other Western countries. I mean, yeah, you still have problems with the effects of colonization today, sure. However, the Amazigh, right, are still not allowed to speak their own language in Morocco or Algeria, and it's predominantly an Islamic nation. So it, I don't understand how he would just bring down France and saying France ultimately bad, but Islam good. This is why I'm saying that this is projection
Mm,
because he will never ever address any problems within the Islamic world himself.
hmm. Yeah, it's a little wavy on that point. Um, but I mean, he's in the back. I don't know, but I think it's been like 2.5 hours. Um, I'm not sure how much longer you want to go. Um, I'm kind of ready to
Well,
start wrapping it up,
let's
so it's
yeah,
not
let's talk about Sweden before we go,
okay.
since we
All
talked
right,
about France a lot. So
all
you know
right.
what happened in Sweden, right?
No.
Oh, a beautiful thing happened. There was a Quran burning
Oh yeah,
just two
yeah,
days
yeah.
ago.
I saw that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that, and the guy was protected by the police,
yeah.
um, and
It
allowed
was a
to
peaceful
do.
protest.
Is that peaceful though? Like, is see, like in stuff like that, I think is are acts of provocation. Um,
Mm, maybe, but the
like,
thing is, if you burn the Bible, nobody cares.
mhm, mhm,
So what happened? Yeah. The thing is, let's say this, right? When you read the Quran and you get provocated, you get insulted, because let's say you're not a Muslim, you read the Quran, and it says that anybody who's not a Muslim is filthy. Anybody who's not a Muslim and do not believe deserves to go to hell. It says that over and over. Anybody who's a Jew, right, is cursed and is deemed to hell. Now, of course, when you read these things, uh, wouldn't that be uh, a sign of provocation? And then you know that 1.4 or 1.5 billion Muslims around the world believe this, and then it's actually uh, expressed in uh, people's words when they speak, right? So essentially, uh, I think it's necessary to speak up against the Quran and what Islam teaches. And if you have the freedom of speech that you buy a Quran and then you can do whatever you want with it and actually prove a point by putting bacon on it and burn it, I see no problems with that. Of course, if Muslims get hurt by it, then it's on them because again, they show no respect with their holy book. So I don't understand why we should give any respect back. But what is remarkable is that the Iraqis went to the Swedish embassy in Iraq and stormed it, and fought against the Swedish people because they allowed it. The Swedish government, they deemed them to be equally complicit to the crime of burning the Quran, according to them, which I think is very odd because every time there's a terror attack in the name of Islam, then somehow we're supposed to make distinction between the terrorists and the rest of the global ummah. But somehow now,
mm,
because one guy who was from Iraq, an ex-Muslim, and maybe Christian, I don't know, burning the Quran now, a whole country should be responsible for it. I don't. So it's double standards.
Let me just make one point. Ghost is in the back, but Ghost I put in the back chat. I think I'm just gonna wrap up the stream with just me and him, and just kind of ride it out from there. So it'll just be kind of close. But thanks for coming on. It was exciting while it lasted.
Here's the
Maybe
thing.
we
If
could.
Ghost want to listen, if Ghost want to have a debate, I'm happy to have it. But he cannot have
Yeah.
this like, oh Jen, listen to me, and then like acting like I don't exist, right? If he wants to have a one-on-one, let's go.
Right, right. Yeah, and I do like more productive kind of back and forth. But see, it's real. I don't know, like provocation. It's a fine line between incitement and like where freedom of expression ends and provocation kind of starts, right? So could the guy, like, did he have to do all that to make a point? Maybe he felt like he did. His rights should be protected to do that, but the backlash may not be productive, as like if he were to kind of make a critical analysis, but at the same time, when you hear things like, they destroyed the Bamiyan Buddhas, all of the temples and processions that get attacked constantly around the world. That's also provocation, you know. So that's also incitement on the other side as well. Um, so it's kind of like it goes both ways, right? When it comes to inciting, it's a fine
Here's the
line,
thing,
but
Jen.
mm,
It's like there's no need to make any sacrilegious burnings of the Bible today. People do it, right? But or sacrilegious offensive, against offense against Hinduism or Buddhism. People do it, but not that much, right? And the thing is that if something is really that detrimental to society and then acts like it's on high morale, of course people are gonna
mm,
have a problem with that, and they're gonna make an manifestation by and I don't even think it's extreme, by burning a book or eating a book like Apostate Prophet did,
mhm,
and David Wood did, right? Or ripping the Quran to shreds. And honestly,
mhm,
those Qurans, are produced in mass
mhm,
with cheap
mhm,
paper, and they're given out for free. So I don't really see the big deal. It's just because to some people it's holy, and therefore we should respect it, even though uh, their holy scripture advocates for the death for the rest of us. And I say, uh, anybody who mocks that religion is in the right. Anybody who is trying to show favor to that religion and try to equate it with Christianity or any other religion is in the wrong because they don't have much understanding of what Islam actually is.
mm. I guess I don't know. It's probably because I'm not an atheist like that. So when it comes to hurting religious sentiments, I do understand, the emotions that are wrapped up in that, and I can get like how people's sentiments are going to be hurt. I've heard many times from different people on these streams how they'll break every uh, idol and smash all my Buddhas and things like that, and it doesn't really feel nice. It doesn't feel nice, but there's no point in my head where I was like, well, I'm gonna behead that person. It's just kind of like, okay, this is my feeling, this is my sentiment, and probably the sentiment of millions of Buddhists around the world. But these like attachment to material things isn't really in our doctrine anyway. um, so it's I guess I could kind of understand both sides of it, you know. I don't really think that things like that are productive. There was a stream that I did after the guy was lynched in Pakistan, the Buddhist guy, for ripping down a political poster that had, I don't know, either the some religious kind of writing on it, and they dragged him and lynched him and set him on fire. And apostate prophet's reaction was to rip up the Quran. And I didn't think that that was an appropriate response, especially to the victim's family. So I did kind of disagree with that in that action, because it's just provocation begets provocation, and violence begets violence, and it's not really the way to end any of this stuff. Um, so that's the thing. Like, how do we? Is it possible to kind of coexist with these people who are among us? They're not going anywhere, and kind of come to an understanding, you know? And I think ultimately that should be the goal moving forward, not to eliminate one side or the other, right? Like, because I don't want to see millions of Muslim people dying or suffering either. Um, I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, the so the last crusade against Islam has ended, right? Which was during George W. Bush regime, and they probably America said, you know what, to each his own. Here is your country. Take it and do whatever we want. We don't want to have anything to do with you.
Hmm.
And essentially, what happened in a very short time, especially in Afghanistan, is that the Taliban took over and they fucked it up. Pakistan has fucked it up. Iraq still very turbulent. So you cannot really blame the West for the 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 uh, the slippery slope of Sharia that is installed in those countries and what it's done to its citizens. So yeah, I don't want people to die as well. However, I don't see it to be a solution to bring all the so-called refugees from those countries into the West when essentially they are part of the Stockholm syndrome, where they believe that the West is actually the ones responsible for the downs the not downside, but the decline of those countries. Yet, you know, the Western countries have not only give a lot of humanitarian aid, but also left those countries to its own demise. Uh, and at the same time, it says in the Quran that if you migrate in the name of Allah, you will be saved by Allah. So essentially, if you die in the name of migration to a kuffar country, then you will actually go to heaven, right? Uh, this is something that's not brought up when it comes to this issue, but yeah, it's true. And and also, when you see people migrating, it's not the families, it's usually young men.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and even uh, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi said that we will flood,
Mm-hmm.
the Western world with terrorists. And what happened was that we had a lot of terror attacks in Europe after that. So, of course, those things are correlated. However, I would say that, yeah, what you can do to save people from Islamic countries is just bring awareness and make sure that they will not worship Islam and try to bring up, a form of rebellion against, the Islamic the Islamic dictatorship that is essential to those countries, because what everybody believes is that, once Islam will prevail, then everything will be sorted out. So Pakistan's problem is has nothing to do with Islam, even though it does. Uh, Afghanistan's problem have nothing to do with Islam economy, even though it does, right? And this is the common theme. Like whatever you say, it's not Islam's fault, even though Islam is essentially in practice in the law. So, uh, and one thing is also very odd is that prior to Taliban taking over, there were tons and tons of refugees from Afghanistan. But now somehow with the Taliban back on track, the refugees have stopped. Uh, there are multiple reasons for this, right? But one is that probably more people than we want to give credit for actually supported the Taliban, which we can see
Mm,
during like
hmm.
the Taliban took over in one week. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, uh, this is kind of the problem of the West not recognizing that yes, a lot of people actually do support the radicals.
Mm, hmm. Wow. I think a lot of times the West has supported the radicals, you know, but is it the path of least resistance or like some bigger kind of, I don't know, some bigger kind of picture? But
I think a
yeah,
lot of
well,
people just I think a lot of people are brought up in Islam and they don't know anything else, and you know,
hmm.
and in their mind, Islam is perfect, and those who represent Islam the best are the ones who they trust the most, and therefore when an invade, nothing actually. This is funny because nothing actually strengthens the Islamic Ummah more than a war, because it says also in the Quran that if an alien nation, infidel nation, anything like that strikes war against you, then all of you should combine and attack. But as long as there is just the tip of the spear fighting for jihad, then the rest of the Muslims, the Ummah nation, the rest of the Ummah can live in peace and silence and just go around the daily business. But once somebody invades, then everybody should be up in arms. Uh, so yeah, it strengthens the global ummah. Let's put it that way. When America invades, it does, because then America is the big bad guy, and we hear it
Hmm.
all the time, right? America did everything wrong, and Islam means peace, and America had every reasons to get out, because essentially they are invading against Islam. It's not about invading against a country. It's invading, Islam and their citizens, and therefore they are wrong because they are infidels and they should get out. So in Afghanistan, it was very like we can even see that in modern war movies where the Afghanis were very much two-faced, and America tried to play the game of good Muslim, bad Muslim, and not all Muslim are the same. Islam is peace. These people have the right Islam. Taliban has the wrong Islam. There's different denominations. I think that America shot themselves in the foot when they said that Islam is a religion of peace. If they actually went out and said yes, this is a crusade against Islam, then they would have done much better. Their efforts would not be in vain, like
But
we
it
see
really
today.
wasn't though. Like it was a crusade against oil rights, right? It wasn't that what the whole Iraqi invasion was pretty much ended up being over rights to the oil field, make sure that the right people who own the oil fields are in working in our benefits. Wasn't that the same thing like with Gaddafi and was it Syria or something like that? Like, because when for some reason, like, the global oil laws go by, like, whoever is in control of the oil field gets to dictate who to sell to and things like that. So I think that was more of the they didn't want Saddam or Gaddafi in control of those oil fields because it would have meant less benefit for us. And I do think that was wrong. That was wrong, because countries should have the right to dictate their imports and exports as they see fit for their countries. And I think a lot of Americans agree with that point.
Well,
So.
the problem with that is that America, or you know, America is America. I mean, I'm not gonna say that, that America is always without flaws, right?
Mhm.
So what I would say is that America struck a deal with Saudi because they had good ties with them. They wanted to big of the oil business from Saudi, so that's why they sold off Osama bin Laden, right? Because essentially, if they actually if America were honest, the conspiracy was that 9/11 had to do with Saudi Arabia, and they would, start with attacking Saudi Arabia. It was not just Osama who was behind 9/11 attack, but they didn't want to stir the conflict between the relationship between Saudi Arabia and America. So yeah, so then they sold off Osama, and he fled to Afghanistan. Uh, but what is more essential is that Saddam Hussein was not a friend to anybody. In fact, like, he tried to establish his own caliphate in the Middle East, and he attacked Kuwait for oil, for example, right? When
Mhm.
and the
Mhm.
problem with oil and water is that it reach different regions or country, because oil and water is not really dependent on the line of the country, uh, and humans are dependent on that. So let's say that a line stops at the border between Kuwait and Iraq, right? So then Iraq would say, "Well, this is our oil," and Kuwait said, "No, most of it lays on our side, so it's ours." So Saddam was like, "No, fuck that! I'm gonna invade you." So that's why how the first Gulf War started, right? And since
Mm.
ever since then, America and Iraq were not friends. Libya is another story, because Gaddafi was essentially, if you read his little green book, was advocating for Sharia too. He said that everything should be religion. He was advocating for sort of a caliphate of Arab nations in Africa, where they would be religious and socialist at the same time, right? So he said that any country should be built upon the religion, and he was very much against America and the interest of America in the Middle East from the get go, and he kind of halted all efforts of humanitarian aid and establishment in the region by America. And today he's deemed as the stabilization force, because he's dead, and now Libya is a shithole of jihad where ISIS is operating, right?
Mm.
But he himself was not a good guy. He threatened the West multiple times, with saying that, yeah, we will flood Europe with immigrations and stuff like that, and we will uh, we will have the economy as we want. You cannot say anything, and he was also responsible for a terror attack back in the 70s, if I'm not wrong. So he was a dictator by all means, right? He had a lot of uh, crimes against humanity under his name. So a lot of people did not like him, and yeah, sadly enough, after the turmoil of his death, it hasn't been anything good out of it. However, I would not give him any benefits in saying that America was wrong for being behind the assassination, or looking the other way of the Arab Spring happening. Now, granted, the Arab Spring was, of course, a major fuck up, which America will not, recognize, because what it did was just honestly radicalize a lot of the region, and allow ISIS to flourish.
Mm. Yeah, it's a mess, man. The whole thing leads to a mess. But well, 11, 12. It's been 3 hours. I think we're at a kind of good point to wrap it up. What do you think?
You know me, I can talk about Islam all day, and we just scratched the surface. I mean, we haven't. It's amazing because
Oh no, he disconnected. Whoa, what happened? Oh my god. All right.
oh, there we go. Sorry.
Okay, I was like, no, you disconnected. That was such a perfect timing. I know. We just there's so much to get into, and
Yeah, I was about to say I didn't even touch the Quran. That's amazing.
ugh,
Like I didn't even have to go there. I
no,
thought I
no.
thought we were gonna talk about the contents inside the Quran, and talking about reliance of the traveler, and the hadith from
Uh,
Sunnah.com. But
yeah.
yeah, we didn't even touch upon that. That's
Well,
that's
next
a, that's a
time we'll
first.
have to set it up for next time, and maybe I'll try to recruit a Muslim who can. Mr. Paler might be good. He could have a nice conversation, but he's
I
also
think I
an.
pissed him off because he said
Yeah, I'm sure you did,
Ramadan.
probably.
He said Eid Mubarak, and I
Yeah,
said Eid Kuzumak.
I don't know what that means, but I'm sure
Yeah,
it's not
you don't
good.
want to know. Yeah.
Put it in the private chat. Um, but yeah, I mean,
But who is
he's
this
good.
Banksy? He keeps talking.
Banksy, we got to get Banksy on here another time too, because Banksy has done a complete 180 since the last time we've interacted, and
I'm an
yeah,
agent of the
I don't know.
Matrix. I'm an
I don't.
agent of the Matrix. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Mm.
You're in the Matrix, right?
No, no, no. He
So,
says I'm an agent of the Matrix. So you should
yeah,
not believe
yeah.
him.
I've been
Yeah.
watching him. He's like, what do you say up here? Um, if you think women should vote, you are an agent. And now, so, all right, my first interaction with Banksy was him yelling at me because of the Hatun ordeal, right? So it
He
was
doesn't like
something.
Hatun.
No, he was team. So this was back when I was naive and I was like, kind of cool with all of them people like Halima, whatever. um so I just came around these people and I didn't really know shit about Islam or the UK or anything like that. So I the people that I kind of came in on were like pro Muslim, kind of really lefty type of YouTube pages. So we kind of, that was how I was introduced to it, and I was like, oh, like they sold the whole like we're being oppressed and this and that, and like so I kind of I went along with it until I started learning, right? So then the first time I can't remember what happened, but Hatun was attacked, and I was saying that it was provocation, that she provoked, and that you kind of have to accept the responsibility of the repercussions when you provoke people. And Banksy was totally against me. He's like, this is Speaker's Corner. You have freedom of speech. She could do whatever she wants. And these violent Muslims and blah, blah, blah. He was like the biggest Islamaphobe on here. And now he's all like Andrew Tate, like I don't know if he's like ex-Muslim or something, but he's done a complete 180. So I actually banned him from my page for a little while because I didn't I didn't want him to be on here. Um, and I remember, yeah, it was the Zabeta thing because I was still cool. I'm still cool with Zabeta, but yeah, I would like chuck him off my stream and shit like that. But that was like kind of funny. So I don't know. I think he might be like half trolling. Um, but it's a little hilarious still. And yeah, but yeah, we'll have to set up another one. We'll set up another one, maybe next week or something, and maybe try to get some different people on, you know, and go from there. Or if you want to put it on your channel, let me put your channel in the. Let me pin that again. I think it's up here somewhere. Uh,
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
I'll,
So
I'll just
anybody who wants to
repost
follow
it.
me, yeah, I just reposted it. Anybody who wants to follow me, please do. Nothing is on my channel right now, but I'm planning on first and foremost uploading all my music that I have that is very Islamophobic, and then start having discussions about the countries, the Muslim countries that are around the world, and actually go to depth what these countries are, because I
Mm,
think there is a lot of misconception about what these countries are and why there is a migration happening from these countries. Because a lot of people have misconceptions, and it's funny because somehow it's like a blank slate, but whereas you don't really know one country from another, and you can't really differentiate, one country from another, and what actually is installed in that country. Uh,
mm.
so the laws in that country. So I think
Yeah, those
that
were
will
good
be a
rooms that you had on Clubhouse about those.
yeah.
And
And I'm
it,
bummed out that they didn't get much attraction. So
well, it's the
I'm gonna
productive
try it.
conversations never
Yeah,
do, right? You see, now I
yeah.
have 13, but when you and Ghost were yelling at each other, I had like 25 or something. So that's always the way that, YouTube kind of works.
Yeah.
The productive conversations are always going to be the least, the dramatics, is always going to be what people are drawn to. So I try to find like I try to find a healthy kind of,
Yeah. Yeah, and
So Jack, I've
today,
upgraded to Jin. I've upgraded to Jin Wallace now. So Jihadi Jen is no more. She's reincarnated into the Jin that she's always been.
and the thing is, Apostate Prophet and David would use do good videos. Today, they do is doing reaction videos, and I'm not saying
Hmm.
they're wrong in that, but I do miss their old videos, and some depth into the videos of discussing something
Hmm.
beyond Muhammad Hijab and Ali Dava and Andrew Tate, which you
Hmm.
know like, yeah, let them do that. But I think there's more to say about Islam than just what meets the eye, and I intend to
Hmm.
do that on my channel.
Good, good. Well, that's good. Well, yeah, everyone in Sam's channel is pinned. Go support him if you wish. Show him some love. Thank you for coming on my stream
Or
today.
or hate. I usually get hate mail.
Yeah, or
Usually.
hate. Hate is it all adds to the algorithm, so we welcome the hate as well, right? We welcome the hate as well. So yeah, so I'm gonna wrap it up here. Shout out to everyone in the chat that came through. Appreciate it. And yeah, we'll catch you on the flip. Any closing remarks? You're gonna say your catchphrase?
Oh no, it's too Islamophobic. Well, no, I have a new one. It's Kifaru Nakbar,
Okay. What does that
or
translate to?
Kufar Akbar, Kafir Akbar.
Oh, okay. Kufar
Yeah,
Akbar.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah, shout out to the Kafir. Shout out to the Mushrikeen. Big up the Mushrikeen. And yeah, big up everyone. I'm going to shut it down. Take care.